Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm your host,
Welcome.
Rob Hernandez, along with Joshua Sean.
Hey, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing well. To our international listeners, those on the East Coast, Midwest, and West Coast, welcome to the ITC and Paranormal Podcast. How are you, Rob?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing
Can you
good.
guys hear us okay?
Doing well, actually. You should use the word well. I'm doing well.
I'm doing well. So, can you guys hear us okay?
Hey, Amanda, Carl, Lindsay, Michelle, Seabeth Rage, Roland. Everyone's checking in right now.
Okay, just checking.
For those just joining us, we are streaming live. We do stream live to Live Paranormal and their social media affiliates, and we are also streaming to the Parawakening social media affiliates, Facebook, YouTube, etc., etc. All right. Well, we have Lisa. How are you? We have a super special guest tonight.
Yes,
Christina.
we do.
Give a minute for everyone to come on in and grab a seat. Hang up your coats. Grab an iced tea or a coffee. Janice, how are you? Hey, Sandy. And I would like to, you know what, Rob, let me do a bulletin really quick. This Friday, not Saturday, this Friday, Rob and our special guest coming up here, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit, are going to be doing a very special event, a live investigation / ITC session. And Rob and our special guest will go into that in just a second.
So, yeah, why don't we go ahead and introduce our guest, Josh? You can do the intro.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the ITC and Paranormal Podcast would like to welcome Lisa, the Purple Dahlia. Woo! Yeah, woo!
We need to get one of those.
I'll do one for you, and I'll make sure my voice is tuned so it's perfect every time.
That's awesome.
How are you, Lisa?
I'm good. Excited, but good. Well, it was
Amy,
like
Kevin.
Sunday last week, and now every day is just a little bit more like, a kid waiting for Christmas. It's coming.
It always seems like that, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what's new with you? Tell us what's going on.
I did a little information checking. I spoke with the team of ladies that are coming to help investigate.
Well, you have to do a little background on what's going on Friday.
Okay, so the S.K. Pierce Mansion, which is the number 2 haunted house in New England, but number 9 haunted as far as the world. It was owned by S.K. Pierce, Sylvester with some weird middle name. And he's the reason why that is known as Chair City is because of his furniture company. So he's had a whole bunch of tragedies, like spent quite a pretty penny on the house being built. And then a week after they moved in, the first wife dies. Second wife, he remarries, who's 30 years younger than him. She has 2 children already of her own. Mr. Pierce only had that one biological child. Didn't matter. He's a stand-up guy. But then Mr. Pierce dies, and then shortly after he dies, then the second wife dies. And then I'm reading, and I'm like, how do you drown in a basement? What's this stuff called spontaneous combustion? Everybody's still to this day, and this happened like decades ago, is still going, yeah, I don't know if it was spontaneous combustion. It's very creepy. This is the house that I drive by more often than not. And every time I avoid driving by that house. So we will take every route other And we always end up smack dab in front of the house. And it gives that very creepy vibe. Like, you coming in? It's like, yeah, not today. So yeah.
Consistently giving you that vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. And like the picture that I took, this is what really spiked it off for me. The picture that I took, it was around Christmas time. And only the first floor there was like one window and had like a pretty Christmas tree, which is awesome. Victorian, like I'm all over it. And my husband's like, I don't think anybody's home. And then the attic light turns on. And he's like, oh, somebody's home. And I'm like, yeah, but they're already dead. They're not like somebody hiked up all them stairs and decided to turn on the light. How would you know that? I said, because it's up for sale. I said, I've watched the whole restoration progress happen virtually online. So I took a picture and I thought it was very weird and it bothered me all day. And then I went to have my nails done by Martha because she's awesome. And her husband came in to bring her lunch. And he said, oh, what are you ladies doing? And so she's explained to her husband, he goes, let me see that. When did you take that? I'm like, oh, the other day. And he's like, there's no electricity in there. All right, buddy. And how would you know that? He goes, because I'm the one that's working on the electrical. We only left electrics on the first floor only. To which my mouth dropped and he goes, are you going to investigate there? And I'm like, I was trying, but like, they weren't taking it. He's like, oh, well, they're just about done. And then COVID hit. But okay. Freddie, the man who was working on the electricity, he passed away last year on my birthday. Like literally 20 minutes after I got off before I talked to Martha that day, he passed away. And she was like, is he going to show up there? I'm like, I don't know. Cause he kept showing up at her shop. The owner of that property, cause it's like a little mini mall. He passed away and he still hangs out there. So yeah. And here, the weirdest thing is Freddie had abilities. I have abilities and Martha has abilities and nobody saw it coming. So now it's just added another layer of, okay, now it's personal. Could it be because he did all the electrical there? Could it be because maybe he didn't take his ability seriously? Could it be because he probably pissed off Mr. Pierce? Like thousands of questions. But then when I talked to somebody else, they said, oh, I've been there, this and that. And then one night, because yeah, I'm a big fan, just like I am a paranormal investigator myself. Somebody was live from there. And I'm thinking, what? And they didn't call me? What? I know those people. They didn't tell me they were going to be on live. So I started watching it and she's sitting in the basement. This is the night that we had that weird snowstorm out of nowhere. Like it was bad. And they were like, oh, I hope we don't lose power. And everybody's like, well, it's so dark. And she's like, oh yeah, there's no power on right now. But you would hear all these things. And then I started hearing from spirit, like it's like a habit. Like when you can remote view, it's like almost like a habit. You fall into it. Like you're watching the TV and you're watching the TV. And now pretty soon you're in the TV, you're in where the news cameras are and so forth. And then I kept hearing this voice saying, when are you coming to visit? Like, I got other things to do. I'll just grab some crochet and I'll just watch like some, CMT music videos. I'll be good. I'll be good. But then, yeah, I'm on a list. And I got a message from Marion, our contact there. And she's like, yeah, she's like, you've been on the list for a while, I see. And she said, it's time. So I just jumped at it. I had the deposit in the next day. That was it.
Right.
And my husband's like, I'm so proud of you. Look what you did. And then he goes, oh my God, what did you do? And I'm like, oh, I did, didn't I? I just did my own investigation. Why would I do that? That's the house that scares me. Like, what the hell was I thinking? And by then it was too late because now I'm like, I'm in it now. I'm in it to win it.
Yeah. When you jumped on the deposit immediately, you don't pass up an opportunity like that, right?
Write that check in. Nope. And a stamp. Nope. Husband said he mailed it. Great. Oh no. Right. What did I do? That was like, we all have like sports idols. The most violent hockey player is the one that I chose to go with my sister and let her tie things to the spokes of the, cage around his house so people like her can stay out. Yeah, he scares the piss out of me. But yeah, I did it anyways. Like, yeah, I got his address. My mother goes, say it again, a little slower. I got his address. Little slower. I got his address. She goes, yeah, and you're not going to be able to do squat with that. She goes, so jump up and down now, she said, because when reality hits, She said, you'll be going, oh my God, he has my return address.
Right.
And I did. When the reality kicked in, I was like, and my sons go, is he coming here to fight us?
Legitimate question.
Yes. Well, because they're hockey players, so yes.
Right. Right.
It was the same thing,
gosh.
like, oh yeah, I did it. Oh no, what did I do? Buyer's regret, buyer's remorse. We're in it. So we're in it. They said we had to have a minimum of 5 people. Naturally, more than 5 people are coming with us. Most of them have gotten new doodads for Christmas. So one has an SLS camera. One has EVP thingy, like all the REM pods and the one that measures the electrical in the air.
Right.
My father used to call it a wiggy because he was an electrician. So that's what you plug into the wall and it tells you whether or not it's a live outlet or not. So there's many different tools that they're bringing. And they're like, what are you bringing? I'm like, myself, my dowsing rods, and a couple other items. That's all. And then came, can we do experiments? I'm like, I don't really think we ought to be playing with the electrical. I didn't sign up for Frankenstein. They're like, no, just regular ones. I'm like, oh, okay. So now everybody wants to be part of that. So we have the basement, first floor, second floor, third floor, attic. So yeah, there'll be many sessions going on doing I don't know the proper name for it. So one is deprivation of sight and sound. So all you're listening to is a ghost box. And then like down the hall is somebody that's going to be asking the questions. To me, it seems like a game of telephone, but you get different things.
Right. Mm-hmm. So yeah, what we'll be doing is, so Lisa's going to be there. They will be basically remoting into the show, which I will be hosting live here. So it's going to be basically like a simulcast. So she'll be in a remote location. We've done this before. So I will probably do reverse sessions. We've always had best luck doing these using reverse sessions. So we're going to stick with that trend, where I'll be doing a reverse ghost box from here.
Los Angeles.
From LA, and they will be there. And the last time we did it, but the last time it was in Gettysburg when we did that.
Yeah, my question is, you're going to tell me now whether you're going to be there remotely with me, or you're going to scare the crap out of me when you go, what about the guy next to you? And I look and, there's sneakers. Wait, there's no sneakers in Gettysburg?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I can't predict what happens.
We'll let you know.
I mean, we can't predict what happens. I mean, that surprised me when that happened.
Friday, full moon. Yeah, what could go wrong? Absolutely.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so
Roland, it does.
So Saturday show, we're not going to be doing Saturday show. I'm going to actually be traveling to Ohio that day. So we're not going to have a Saturday show. It's all possible. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, we could, but I don't know.
I can help out if you need my help. If you ever need me to run a show, I could do it.
And I'm happy to help out in whatever capacity that I can do, but you guys are way above my pay grade. But I can say hi and be very polite, be the hostess.
Pay grade?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it Saturday. I mean, it's all up in the air. But so for the next couple of weeks, the show will be broadcasted from Ohio, and Josh will be in LA. So it'll be fun.
I'll be holding it down in LA.
Yep.
Josh, I don't want to freak you out or nothing, but you have a man behind you in spirit. It's the one I always point out every week. Okay, you don't want to know. All right.
No, I do. Okay. I'm teasing you. No, please tell me. Please tell me. Seriously. It's okay.
So he's like to the left of your screen where I see you on the screen. He's to the left.
So he's over my right shoulder.
Yep, right. Correct.
So he's right here.
Yes, but he usually just walks around when you're on. So he doesn't usually pay any attention, but he's doing this thing to me right now. Like, hey, it's like, yeah, I see you.
Wow.
I see you.
He doesn't want anything to do with me. He only cares about you. It's not
Listen,
bothering me. I mean, it's fine. I'm just
it's a
doing the
full
show.
moon. I've already had some weird people messaging me like, "Oh, you said you were going live," and I'm looking at it like, "Okay, you messaged me before." I'm like, "That was in November, dude. You wanted to talk." I'm like, "I gotta go. I was doing live. Guess what? You're interrupting my live. Have a nice night."
Right. So I guess my question is, and I don't know if this is something you could possibly know or not, but is there any interest in the show or what we're doing on Saturday night? Or is this maybe a
Yes.
family member? Oh, okay.
It's definite. Well, because I don't talk to you otherwise, other than those nights. But he's
Right.
always in that room where you are. And he
Okay.
particularly gets more interactive when the activity on, like, say, the reverse is like picking up. That's when he gets more active, which was because normally it takes him a while to warm up. But now he's just like automatically like, hey, and like, I'm like, okay.
And maybe recently, Lisa, I've been seeing a black shadow figure, and maybe that's him, but it's kind of out of the corner of my eyes all the time.
Yes.
Since we've been doing the Saturday shows more and more. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't bother me though. I mean,
no,
I
a
don't
lot
have
of
any
people
issues, yeah.
see the tall shadow man. Like
Right.
everybody that I know that has any form or any level of abilities, all have seen him. So I don't know if there has to be more than one, but to constantly show at the same time, it would be kind of weird. But yeah, he's always here for you when you're on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Wow.
He's going to see you. So, hey, you want to check with me on like a Friday afternoon or Monday morning?
Right.
I don't know. This is the only time we interact.
Sure. No, I appreciate you telling me. I do, because I have noticed a little bit of activity in my house. It hasn't been threatening, but it's just been, picking up on a consistent basis. So.
Sometimes there's a woman there, an older woman, and she feels more of a relative. This guy's not giving off that relative vibe.
Okay.
But you know what? The last time I saw her was when you weren't feeling well.
Interesting. Okay.
So
wow.
That would have been, yeah, it was like you were sick. It was around the holidays, like you weren't feeling well, and the kids had it too. So yeah, and she was there, but she was more or less,
wow,
let me feel his forehead. She was doing like, things that a mother would do, but it felt like she's a relative.
Oh, I think I might know who that is. I appreciate you telling me. I had no idea.
Okay, because like some people want to know, some people don't, but he specifically is waving at me, so I'm like, I think Josh needs to know he's there.
I feel like I should almost move aside and pull up a chair.
I know. I do the same thing. Like,
it's okay.
Like,
I mean,
who's joining us at dinner? I'm like, oh, it's
right.
so and so.
Right.
Oh
my gosh. Oh, your abilities amaze me. Absolutely amazing. That's incredible.
So a lot of people are asking me to still do this. Sorry, in the chats, people are still requesting us to do the show Saturday, so it might happen.
Okay, the investigation is actually Friday night, of which
right,
which anybody can come on, because we're going to be doing it through Live Paranormal in my Purple
tell
Valley
your friends,
page.
everyone. Right.
Yeah,
right.
But I am the person that brings people on, whether it's TikTok and I crash somebody else's live. Like Spirit goes, oh, you need to go on. I'm like, okay, where are we going? And like, oh, we're going to do that fun one. Like TikTok again. Like, okay, people. And then it's usually I check out who's currently live, and it's whatever one that Spirit says, okay, stop, like flip channels, boom, stop. And then I go live with them, and I usually give them a free reading.
I see.
First they're like, who's this weirdo? And then they're like, oh my God, you really see? And then like, there's no way you could know that. I'm like, yeah, because I've never met you. I'm not even a follower of yours.
Right.
So it gives credence to what I can do. And like everybody has had a paranormal experience at some time in their life or some level.
Right. Dawn, Friday, what time again? Can we specify the time?
Friday, I'm going to be there. I have to be there from 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. But I think Rob and I were thinking maybe 11 p.m. my time, because I'm East Coast.
So 8 o'clock on Friday, Pacific time.
Okay.
11 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah,
11 Eastern, 8
in case
Pacific.
you couldn't tell, Yeah, we got.
Oh, that's going to be exciting.
Listen, we were on a winning streak, and then we got our butts handed to us, and my husband's like, "It's because you're going. That's what it is. Because you're going."
It's all because of you, Lisa.
Yeah. Like it's not even, it
And
has nothing to do with North Carolina.
Right.
So the stream will be about 2 hours, maybe. Could go longer.
We'll
go
see
longer.
whatever. Yeah, we'll see whatever it is.
Yeah.
These people are very nice, and although I've never paid for advertising and I don't advertise at all, people seem to know who I am, and it's usually because of somebody that I know. But it's usually I don't drop people's names that I know because it's not part of my resume. It's not who I am. It's like, yeah, I'm friends. We didn't say anything. Well, how does mentioning them better my work or lessen my work? It doesn't change anything. So I don't usually bring people's names up. So I just, it's just weird. So like people have heard, they're like, we've heard of you. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. My husband's like, yes, no. I'm like, why can't they heard of me? People book appointments all the time, but I don't advertise. And people are like, how does that happen? I'm like, have to ask Spirit how that happens. I don't know.
Yeah, the talent speaks for itself, word of mouth. It'll get around.
Yeah.
If you're good, it'll get around.
Yeah, and like it really bothers me that some psychics, and I won't say all, but some sort of just yeah, instead of doing their own homework kind of thing. And then anybody can say, yeah, oh yeah, I agree. Oh yeah, that's what I got. Oh yeah, that's what I got. I don't contribute to that. Like I will private message you if it's something that I've picked up, especially on one of the cold case chats or whatever, because I don't want my information out there. Because what if that's my only chain of evidence, so to speak, that you can get the police to re-examine it? So I just like, but this is like more fun for me than it is probably for most of the people investigating. It's like Christmas, Halloween, any kind of Easter candy, all jammed into one.
Yeah, Easter candy. That's a good one.
Yeah, and I don't even drink coffee. 90% of the time, I drink chamomile tea or water. That's it.
It's a healthy decision. Yeah.
Scary to think how I would actually be drunk. I'd be dirty, but we're not doing that at this place. No.
You probably not. Rob will take care of that for you when we're here in LA when he's back.
Have you seen the pictures that somebody posted? There was like a size 20 footprint. Like it was
size
huge.
20.
This was no basketball player. We made a basketball player look like a toddler in the sawdust at one of the levels of the house. Somebody had posted that. I think it was on like Zillow or something for the actual house when it was up for sale. And that just tripped me out. I'm like, one, who's walking around barefoot with all that equipment that they use and nails and stuff like that? And two, that's not a normal size shoe. That makes Bigfoot look tiny.
I mean, even work boots that a flooring contractor or construction worker would wear, even if it's a size or two bigger than their shoes for whatever reason, is not going to be a size 20. I mean, that's hard to explain.
This isn't a shoe. This is the barefoot.
Barefoot. Yeah, I'm just thinking, right.
Like, how
there's
crazy
no.
is that? Like, logically, what the?
Yeah. That's hard to explain.
Yeah. There's many things that like more questions than answers always with that place. Always.
Oh, that's going to be exciting. You guys are going to want to miss this Friday. I mean,
there's
I'm going to be at work. I'm going to have to find a way to tune in.
There's a tunnel.
Do we know where it's leading to? Or is that half the fun we don't know?
One of my investigators knows about the tunnel. I
Really?
said nothing to nobody. I know it's there, but I didn't ask where it is. She actually knows where it is. Not this girl. Nope. Not this girl. I'll be waiting on the other one with the big flashlight going, over here, my car's running.
Yeah.
It's
going to be a fun show.
Yeah, it will be a fun show. I remember, in fact, wasn't there another location that Rob and Nikki were at? And we used the reverse box. That was the one I joined you on, Rob.
That was in Gettysburg.
It was at Gettysburg.
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember
the Ferndale house or farm, right?
Yes, because remember
Farnsworth Inn? Okay.
Yeah.
Jeremy just chimed in because Jeremy likes to hang out when I go live. Jeremy is one of the spirits there. He's a young boy. Great kid.
Wow. You just heard from him right now?
Yeah, he likes to hang out. He knows I go live. And even when I go on investigations with Rob and Nikki, even if it's not for the Farnsworth, that's where they have me meet them because I don't get any details beforehand. So Rob Zarek will be like, show up at the Farnsworth parking lot. Okay. He's like, all right, take a left, take a right, whatever. I literally have no idea where I'm going half the time. And then as soon as my car hits that parking lot, Jeremy's like, you're here. I'm like, you can ride with me. And I'll offer to do something like, do you want me to watch the spirits? Do you want me to watch you? Do you want me to make sure no bad men are in here? I'm like, no, I got it, Jeremy. You just need to sit back and watch.
Wow. To have that type of communication and guidance like that so effortlessly.
But I'm a mom, so.
True. That's true. That's true.
Ways that little kids know that. They know who's like a mom or who's a dad. Like a lot of times Rob Zarek will have the children's spirits harass him because they know he's a dad.
Right.
So they always know.
Yeah, they can tell.
Which is why you have to be careful if you're bringing an offering to any haunted locations, because they may mistake that as, oh, you want me to come home with you.
Right.
So like dolls and stuff that you're leaving there, that's fine. Never bring anything home from a location. A rock, a chair, a telephone, something. Don't bring that. No. If it's there, let it stay there. And I even bring some different shoes home because I won't wear the same shoes that I've been investigating in till I've smudged them.
Right.
What?
I learned the hard way with a ghost box when I was on investigation with Rob. One of my favorite 12.587s became completely overrun by just chaos, almost like a negativity. I got rid of it. I mean, at the time I didn't have a connection to smudge it but I had to get rid of it. So most of my cherished ghost boxes stay home.
Same thing with what's the name of the place? Bobby Mack's.
Bobby Mackey's, right?
I know well-seasoned psychics and investigators who won't get within 5 miles of that place. If their life depended on it to drive by it, they won't.
Oh my gosh. That's saying a lot, especially at that radius. When you think about a 5 mile radius, that's, I guess I use the term loosely, but detecting that energy.
Well,
it's that palpable that far away.
It's not crazy if you're a friend of mine for me to message you and be like, I know you're on your way to an investigation. You're being followed. And this was at the height of protesters standing in roads and so forth. And yeah, that was a bad idea on their part because I let them know. And these are all former special forces people. You should really be careful who you decide to pick on because those boys don't play.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, they were like, good call. Because if they hadn't left when they did, they probably would have been, I don't want to say picked on, but had no choice but to use their special forces to get out and get home.
Right.
Yeah, I'm the weird one that hey, I haven't talked to you in 3 weeks. Yeah, it's 3 a.m. I know. You're driving. I know. You had fun. That's great. Get something salty. Neutralize it before you bring it home because you don't want to bring that stuff home to your family.
Can you turn... I'm just going to speak very freely here. Can you turn this off if you have to?
I have no spirits in my bedroom or my bathroom. Pets, spirits that come through, don't pay attention to that. Children's spirits don't pay any attention to that. And my mama spirit does not pay any attention to that. Like she'll mess with my radio the whole time that I'm in the shower. Same song over and over again. But if I had to, yeah. But 90% of the time, I'm kind of okay with it as long as they don't draw attention. Like I can't go to a hospital, particularly hospitals that have chapels by the front door. That's not really good advertising. Me, my mother's was always like, oh, it's there for safety. I'm like, I don't feel so safe now. I'm just saying I don't. Right. But like stab labs, the blood lab are usually kept near the morgue. So yeah, I'm very careful. Like I have to. Yeah, there's been some things that have happened in an elevator that like maybe some of the doctors or nurses personnel would be like, did you see that? I'm like, nope, didn't see anything. I know what you're talking about. Meanwhile, I'm going, oh my God.
Right. I was curious because your natural abilities are inherent. I mean, you're born with them. They're inside of you. And I was just wondering with that ability to turn it off when you have to, when you need to. So I appreciate you explaining that.
Well, spirit will also not overwhelm your plate. So say if I've had surgery before they took everything away from me for a while until they felt I could, carry on again, which I wanted another week because I was having myself a good time, just getting sleep and stuff. It was fun, nice. And they go, no, you're going live tonight. Yeah, I kind of thought I'd do that next week. And then they just started the ringing in the ears. So they will push you in the way that you need to go, whether you're in it or not.
So very much like a parent or guardian saying, we're going to take these abilities away from you because you need to heal. You need to focus on yourself.
Right.
And
the same thing is like if your kids were sick or they were having surgery or you're going through a divorce or I don't know, there was a flood at your house, whatever the situation is, spirit will back off to let you do what you need to do so as to not to make it worse or intervene. And then when you're out of the danger, then they start bringing it back. But if you don't use it, most people with abilities get headaches and violent migraines if you don't use your abilities. It's just easier to do it than to not do it and then have to suffer because then you're like... Right. So whether it means like, saying hello to the mailman, oh, by the way, there's a spirit following you, whatever. They're used to it now. Like when I moved here, I told the neighbors and he kind of fluffed me off. And then his wife got wind of it because I was in Gettysburg. Right. And they said to my son, oh, where's your mom? He's like, oh, they're taping or something in Gettysburg. And she was like, taping what? He goes, my mom's a psychic. She told you that. Well, she looked at her husband and he was just like, it's real. He goes, my mother usually doesn't tell people. The only reason why she told you is because she knew that you were dealing with some stuff at work because of the activity. Right. I'm just like, I'm here if you need me. Like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., whatever it is that you need. I'm just used to it at this point.
That's fascinating. Thank you for sharing this. No, but I'm fascinated by your story and how you're using your abilities and how you are at such a level of an awareness when you know those abilities might be momentarily taken away to focus on yourself when they return, when you use them, how you feel when you don't use them. This is fascinating to me.
Like, it's really not a bad thing to have abilities. It can be inconvenient, but until you learn how to control them, and I say that lightly because more or less they control you. You don't really control. It's like owning a cat. You know how this goes.
You're right. Sure. Good analogy.
But my cats actually have abilities. And my puppies, I'm noticing like 2 of them can see the spirits. Because we've been having an increased activity upstairs in the hall where the door will just open on its own, or my dogs will see the spirit and don't want to go to sleep, and we'll just zone in on them and just keep barking. My husband's like, make it stop. What the hell do you want me to do? And he's like, well, make it stop. So I said, all right, you open the door, butthead, close it. And they actually closed the door. And he was just like, how did know if I was going to get him? Like, I go to sleep if I were you because you're annoying me now.
Right. Butthead is the key, is the optimal word.
Well, because there's no lights in that staircase.
Right.
There's no lights on. And this was around the holidays. And then you could see this big glowing light. And then all of a sudden it became a big shadow. And for a second, I thought that was my husband coming upstairs. Like maybe he went downstairs for something until, oh, he's still there. Okay, so what are the puppies freaking out about? And then that door opened up a little more. And he goes, that's it. I'm like, pipe down. So I told him, and then I'm like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to go to bed.
Right. Jeez.
I have 3 puppies. Don't
Your
think
adventures.
I have 1 puppy. I have 3 puppies, all the same age.
Ooh, that's tough. Ooh.
Listen, they said, I picked out 1. They said, oh, we'll throw in another one. Awesome. Get there to pick him up a transport, and I get a 3rd one. I come home, and he's just like, 3? I will never, ever say I want a free puppy again. Ever.
Right. That was a lesson learned, right?
Free yarn is something different, but I will never ask for free puppies.
3 lessons learned.
Yeah, when they go, oh, we're going to surprise you. I'm like, I don't want no more puppies. And they're like, why do you always assume it's a puppy? I'm like, because I ended up with 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Now I've done just about every stupid thing that a pet owner can do. Like, spoil them, tuck them in, put a beneath their head. Yeah, I've done it all.
Wow.
So people were asking if we're going to do any sessions tonight. No, we don't do sessions on Wednesday nights, only on Saturday night. But we will be doing sessions on on Friday night.
And Rob, I heard you say something about we're doing a Saturday show. I wasn't clear about that. Are we or?
We might do Saturday show.
Okay, so
Pardon me.
and generally we do, for anyone that's new, we do meet 11:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays or Sundays, depending. And that's for our live 3 a.m. ITC sessions, where we do conduct live ITC sessions, where you can ask questions to see if you can get in touch with anyone, and we review the sessions. And it is such a great time. And if you are new, please join us. It is just the best.
FOMO's real. If you're not there, you only know if you know. That's the best way I can describe it. And I'm the one that moderates. Not because anybody asked me to, but because I can. So I just do it. And then I was like, oh, this is interesting. And now I'm addicted. If I don't, if I'm not here, I get weird. And then like the next morning, I'm like, rewind. Where was I?
That show has become, like many people have described, their gym workout. If they miss it, they feel weird. Like, oh, I missed the 3 a.m. show. It's like,
has the weekend come yet? Because I didn't get my Saturday in. And then my kids will come over early on Sunday. My husband's like, don't wake her in. Why? She was working last night. Oh, Cameron's like, we got to know about this. And his girlfriend's like, yeah, come on, Lisa, get out of bed. I'm like, what? They're like, what happened?
Right.
Yeah.
A dead body this time? Like, you guys get way too excited about dead bodies. I'm not a fan of dead bodies. No.
Can't say that I am either.
So like the thing is like when I used to go out and do the Saturday shows in the beginning, Rob would wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time.
Oh,
and I would still be on. And he was like, Rob, what the hell are you doing? He would text me, and I'm on the show doing the show still. He would text me and was like, what the hell are you still doing on? I was like, oh, I'll be on for like maybe another 15 minutes. And then sometimes I would stay on until like 5:30 in the morning and then end it. So yeah, it was always crazy.
Yeah. And when he does it, he thinks it's charming. And Nikki and I was like, coffee first. Especially if I have to get up really early in the taping. I'm like, yeah, this is the one time I'm going to need coffee.
Yeah.
Right.
Or just dump the grounds right in my mouth. It's fine.
Yeah, pretty much. Add it to the gum. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Just French press right over my head into my mouth. I'll be good.
Exactly.
We'll go out someplace to eat, and he's like, that's all you want? I'm like, yeah. And Nikki's like, I find this fascinating because Rob doesn't know what to do with me. He's like, you really just want grilled cheese? Yeah. What do you want on it? Cheese?
Cheese. Yeah, bread.
What else goes on the grilled cheese?
And he's like, you don't want it? Like, you don't want, no. And then she brings me a pickle. I'm like, yeah, somebody knew what I wanted. And he's like, why didn't you ask me? I'm like, because some places don't have pickles. It happens. But yeah, like I'm very simple, very nothing fancy. I'm just me. Oh, and I have abilities. That's what I tell people. It's just me and then I have abilities.
Perfect the way you are, Lisa. Perfect.
Yeah, like I don't think there's another one of me. I'm not sure anybody here on earth or in heaven could handle a second one of me. So
the universe said we have one purple dahlia, we're good. That's you are the
wild.
Roland, yes, Rob is hardcore. Rob is hardcore.
I used to be hardcore.
Well, you're lightcore. You're like light hardcore now. you're like the metalcore band that grew up and now they're like 38, 39. They're still touring. They're still doing a good job, but
You know what the funny thing is Raina, like, finally she called me up one night. I was doing the show. She was like, you need to go to bed. And I was like, why? And she was like, you need to get some sleep. So after I did the show, another 5-hour stream, she called me up the next morning and she said,
you wanted me to stop it under 7 hours? Nah, it's not complete.
She was like, Rob, look, you need to get some sleep. What time do you wake up like on a Sunday afternoon? And I was like, I don't know, probably about 11. And then she's like, but how do you feel on Monday? I said, like crap. And she's like, see, you need to get some rest. So I said, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll do that. So I tapered off about 2:30, 3, and then I started backing off. Then I said, you know what? She said, no, you need to stop at 2 hours. So I was like, okay, it's 2 o'clock in the morning now. I'm quitting.
And but aren't you charged at the end afterwards? Aren't you like all charged up?
Oh my God, I can't go to sleep.
Yeah.
I can't go to sleep until 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning.
So the first time I meet Rob, he's like, I need you to come to Gettysburg. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. course, it was Bruins playoff. Yeah, we might have had to play that team in Pennsylvania, the one that really hates us, which is both teams. So we drive there. I brought a friend of mine with me. We drive. Had a wonderful time during the day. We found the only place in Gettysburg that has somebody that's from our state next to me that's working there. So now we only want to go there. Do the investigation. He's like, all right, so you guys want to stay over? We're like, no, we're going to drive home. And he's like, you just drove here? Yeah. You ate? Yep. You did an investigation? Yep. And now you're going to drive all the way home. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, how is that possible? And we're trying to explain to him, it's like being jacked up on candy and like soda. It's by the time I get home, I'm just coming down so that I can go to sleep.
Right.
Which people
Timed
are
out
like, oh my
perfectly.
God, how much Red Bull did you drink at Lizzie Borden? I'm like, I haven't had any caffeine in like 3 days. What are you talking about? They're like, this is your normal energy. I'm like, this is a happy girl energy.
Right.
Bruins wins, Stanley Cup wins. This is what you get.
Right.
But yeah, it
Yeah.
could take 6 to 7 hours to wind down.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, Carl was talking about the energy on Friday or Saturday show. Saturday show was a little weird.
It had a
Saturday
wonky
show-
vibe, though. It did.
Well, but Saturday, like on Saturday, here's the thing. Whenever there's technical difficulties, it has always been a trend. Anytime there's technical difficulties, something's going to happen on the show. And I was really upset. And maybe that's part of it. So I couldn't really focus in. And maybe that's why, because being the operator, when you're doing ITC sessions, the operator has to be focused.
Mm-hmm.
I could not focus because I was just upset. My mind was
not where it should
drifting.
be.
It was drifting. So, and I'll be honest. So yeah, that, and then with me being the conductor per se, it threw the energy off for everything else. So it was hard for me to reel it back in. There was a lot of things that happened.
But it's also what I say, when you go to any location, you want to go in there with a positive energy, because if you feed it positive, you're more likely to get positivity back, or you'll get more evidence or any kind of activity. Where if you go in there in a bad mood, then they zone in on you and you're not going to get much activity. But that person that's coming with the bad mood, they amplify. You go from 0 to 100 just like that. And that's not good. That's why it's so important that everybody grounds before you go investigating. Sometimes you even have to do it a second time. It's just been my experience that if there's a negative anything and I go in there and somebody has a negative attitude, I have to ask them to step out, because they're making my job harder. Like the first rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. I can't get to you for a week. First rule of Fight Club. You don't want me to do anything? I go, yeah, don't talk about it. Don't address it. Don't let them know that you've talked to us. I get nothing. So when I get there, he's calm, because what could happen is that negativity or that negative spirit could make it much worse. And it will look like you were complaining about nothing.
Yeah.
So I just always want to like suppress it or neutralize it till I can get there. And I don't go in like, I'm going to get you. I go in like I'm going like, to a bar and having a drink that I don't want to pay a bar tab.
And also,
look, it works.
And also we were assless chapless.
Oh, yeah.
Assless chapless also on that show.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we do. Yeah.
We're missing those assless chaps.
Yeah.
I did. I'm going to a concert tomorrow, and I thank God I double checked, because I was half asleep when I was ordering the pants. And I was like, wait, those don't have they're not covering the butt. What the hell am I supposed to wear? There's nothing there. I'm like, whoop, take that out of the cart. Nope. A little cold here in New England for those. No.
Yeah, a little cold.
Josh and his assless chaps is always missed.
Right. Rob's the conductor. He conducts the sessions. I'm like the sideshow act now. I'm not, I'm kind of the sideshow act.
I'm a happy drunk too, Kanga. I got the giggles. Like I can stop any fight that's going to happen at a bar. And I don't have any fear where normally I'd be like, stay out of it. I'm just like, You're going to need your mother to back you up. Better call her now. I'll give you 20 minutes. And they're like, you didn't just do that. I'm like, yeah, I did. Like, the guy's like huge. I'm like, what was he going to do? Hunch over and smack me? I'm like, at that point, he could just pat me on the head. I mean, but I'm always the one that's got the giggles all the time.
Where did it go? The chat was moving. There was a comment here for you, Lisa. Oh, the chat is now scrolling too fast. Oh, Dawn says, who are you going to see, Purple?
Oh, I'm going to see Hailstorm, the concert that was rescheduled.
Oh,
rescheduled, canceled, rescheduled. And it was after I made the commitment here. And my husband's like, oh, it's like the 21st. I go, no, it's not. What's not? I go, no, it's not. That concert's not on the 21st. I have plans. Right. Well, I was supposed to be going to Hailstorm tomorrow. And then next week I was supposed to see Dirty Honey because the original tickets, Dirty Honey was opening up for Hailstorm. But due to scheduling, whatever, they're not.
Right.
But then Dirty Honey canceled. And I'm just like, And then my husband's like, oh, I'll buy you tickets to Garth Brooks. I'm like, didn't we have tickets for Garth Brooks? He's like, you still on that? I'm like, yeah. Because like he rescheduled, canceled. Nobody heard anything. And then all of a sudden now he's coming back. So now you got to go through the whole process. It's like so annoying.
Yeah.
Your master get vaccinated. Pick one, but do something.
Right. I have to say, for people in the industry, it's annoying all the way up the level. Everyone is annoyed by these changes, from the artists all the way down to the fans. It's annoying to everyone.
Well, my whole thing was, I mean, I like Garth Brooks, but Trisha's my girl. Trisha,
yeah.
She's my girl.
So, Amy, to answer your question, the SK Mansion investigation is this Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, live paranormal.
Pacific or PM, 11 p.m.
Did I say
Eastern.
a.m.?
You
Dude,
did say
I'm not even, my eyelids aren't even open at 11 a.m. I'm just being honest.
8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, this Friday, live paranormal.
I think you can arrange to sleep there, but
that's what we're all talking about is, can we sleep there?
Yeah, no, I don't have any holes in my head, so I'm not sleeping there. I only live 5 minutes away, so I'll just go.
It's not what gear are you bringing. Can we sleep there? Do they have snacks?
No,
the important question.
Listen, you always need to bring your own snacks.
Of course.
I'm a kid that grew up Blizzard of 78. I got stuck in that because we were in the car with my parents and they were going. So, I mean, we got stuck, for real stuck. Thank God my father knew the state trooper because he had cheese and crackers in his car. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's a good,
Tootsie Rolls, pretzels. Always carry at least a gallon of water per person or an old blanket in your car. So if anything happens, at least you have something to do. Like, I can't tell you how many motor vehicle accidents I've stopped for just to make sure people are all right. And they have my blankets. I'm like, no, I don't want them back. Once you bleed on it, it's yours.
Yeah.
Like, it's yours.
A little brain on that. You can hold on to that. It's a keepsake. It's yours.
Yeah, but you never know when you're going to need water, or even if there's like an accident or a state trooper or any of the first responders might need water. And the fact that you have it is really a lifesaver for them.
Yeah,
exactly. So Saturday show or Friday show is going to be pretty amazing. It's an amazing location.
That you
so much history. So much history.
Original doorknobs, original windows.
Yeah.
Now, original marble fireplaces. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that it was haunted, I would totally live there.
Well, I'm not going to say anything. I had a close connection with that house, and anyway, I'm not going to say anymore.
No, listen, I'm not Teresa Caputo. I do not drag things out of people. I'm the psychic that respects boundaries.
Right.
When you're ready,
we still might do a Saturday show.
Massachusetts, Amanda. Gardner, Massachusetts.
Yeah. It's about an hour and a half away from Boston.
Yeah, give or take. I'd say it's more than that. If you leave at 4 a.m., which is the mass exodus into Boston, there's no traffic. But coming home at 5 o'clock, it could take you up to 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, just to clear everything up, this Friday is 100% definite go for the show. 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live paranormal, and possibly a Saturday show. If you're up, folding laundry, doing whatever you're doing, just getting back from going out, just check. Just check at 11:45 p.m., 2:45 a.m. I want to make sure I don't mess that up. Eastern Standard Time, and just we might be going live. I hope, Rob. I hope we do. I know you have to travel. Maybe
Well,
we can figure it
I
out.
have to leave at 3 a.m. on Saturday morning to catch an early flight.
Okay.
Oh, okay, right.
So
I'm
Josh,
flying out Saturday morning.
if you're gonna pull this solo and you need somebody, you can banter with me.
I would love to. It's up to Rob.
No, again, like I offer this to any of the hosts that are on Live Paranormal.
Awesome. I thank you so much, by the way.
Somebody got sick. Remember when Rob Zarek did something to his leg and the knee? Oh, that was so gross. Yeah. So it's much better to just recuperate when you need to, and then come back.
So yeah, I'll have an 8-hour travel day, 9-hour travel day, and then try to do the show again at
I think I was on 4 days no sleep when I was on your show last time. So yeah, I'm good. I'll be all charged up.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying there might not be a show. I mean, it depends on how I'm feeling. Yeah.
There's 3 hours difference, Kanga, from East Coast to West Coast, and you're in Australia, so that would be a whole day ahead of me, is what you are. Because it's Australia's a whole day, and then England's about 5 or 6 hours difference, and then there's me,
5
and
hours.
an hour difference, and then 2 hour difference. For you, it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
Which is why when you see like other hosts from Live Paranormal, they say I'll be on at midnight, and it's really not midnight here. It's midnight there, which I say, like, should mention that you're on the West Coast. Or can't you just run down the hall? That's a hell of a hallway. Massachusetts all the way to California. Dude, I'm up for it. It might take me a long time, but hey, I'll do it. They don't understand that we're not in one building where I can go, Josh.
Right, exactly. Maybe what we'll do, Rob, we'll try marketing. Maybe we'll do a post Friday. Maybe we can think about it, and we'll just let everyone know definitely what you decide, so we don't leave anyone hanging about the Saturday show.
And my team's completely open to any questions that you might want to ask Spirit, or any experiments you can suggest. So we'll bring in anybody live that wants to come on, especially. And we've invited the ITC followers. I've invited everybody on Live Paranormal, my page, all the other platforms, because don't you ever sit there and watch a show and be like, dude, why didn't you ask this question? And they dance all around it, but they never get to the question, and it drives you crazy. It's like water cooler talk. Well, now here's your opportunity.
So Kanga, the show on Saturday starts at 11:45 Pacific time, PM. So it's PM. So you're a full day ahead of us. I mean, you're 7 p.m. when we're 11:45 p.m., but you're on the next day.
New Zealand, I think, is like a day and a half ahead of me.
Yeah, that's what Australia is.
Yeah, I have clients in like every time zone, so I'm the worst at the time. So if I give a time, then usually I have like my bestie, Chris, that she'll be like, no, that's the other direction. Oh, okay, because that made total sense. It's just like, let me know what time the appointment is so I can set my clock for it. That's all I need.
So Friday is 8 o'clock Pacific time.
Yes, this Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
New Zealand's 2 hours ahead of you. Then you're exactly like, I think it's like 13 or 14 hours ahead of me.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's
Listen, if you like both pages, if you turn your notifications on and you follow, they will tell you when we're live. Particularly Live Paranormal, it will notify you when there's a live feed of any sort.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and this is probably
why
we don't solicit readings in the comments or ask for personal information. If somebody's doing that to you, it ain't us. It's not us. They're trolls and scammers.
Right.
Yeah, that's why we always say turn on your notifications, especially if you're on YouTube, because you will get a notification that we are live. Same thing with Facebook.
Right.
And plus, I mean, why would you want to miss out? I mean, of all the shows, because you never know what's going to happen, but of all the shows that FOMO is so real, it's definitely this one.
Yeah, I'm afraid of missing out of my own show. Like, I hope I get off work in time. I'm at work and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm cutting it close.
Do you know I've never watched any of my live feeds ever.
You know, I have to adjust my microphone. I have to adjust my sound.
Not even on investigations, if somebody's videoing it, they're like, don't you want to see it? No, I'm good.
Oh, really?
I guess my face changes when I've connected with spirit, but I don't really know. This is all I hear all the time, but I don't watch it. It's weird to me. Like, who needs a 6-foot banner of me? Like, I don't need that. Well, what are you supposed to do at a Paracon? Can't you just put up the purple dahlia? Yeah, that works. It's like New York City. Back. No, thank you.
Right. Green screen with you're right.
Yeah, but I guess like I never noticed this until somebody said it. Like, you don't watch your lives. I'm like, no. And they're like, so you don't see how your face changes? And I'm like, okay. They're
That's
like, no,
interesting.
like, your whole persona. I guess like my mannerisms changed, the way I talk could change. I know that I sweat a lot, but that's not just isolated to me. Almost every medium that I know, once you connect with spirit, you get hotter. There's a temperature change. Because when you come down off the high from connecting with spirit, you get the chills a lot.
Right. That's interesting. And I'm curious though, if you did rewatch your lives, your streams, to look for evidence while you're doing them, if you notice something, has it ever sparked your interest to go back and say, you know, I felt something at that moment or something happened. I want to go back and watch that. I'm just wondering why maybe you're already aware of it at the time. You don't need to rewatch that evidence, but something like that might intrigue me to look back at that evidence and go, oh, something happened there. I want to look back, you know?
You know, those buttons that you have car and nobody knows what they really do. Like we all have one, right? You must clean your car.
Course,
you see the weird buttons, right? Well, my car door wouldn't close. It wouldn't stay closed while driving. So I called my friend, the mechanic, and he's like, did you hit any buttons? No. What's that button? I don't know. You've never been on the urge to just go, oh, let me see what it does. Nope.
I see the analogy. Okay.
So I would never touch it. And my whole thing is that just because it's got more stuff doesn't make it work any better.
Sure.
Like I've never used the auto thing for the car, like auto drive or whatever it is, like it controls the speed. I won't use that either.
Cruise control. Right.
Yeah, it's too risky for me. Like I don't want to take that chance. But when I'm doing a live, I hear everything in the moment, but I could very well be answering questions and not get anything. But if I go back, you have that ability to hit mute. And then I don't have to look up. I'm just looking in the comments for that one person that I got a message from, and I just didn't have enough time to get to them.
I see.
Does that make sense?
That was a good analogy. Yeah, that was a very good analogy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I was brave enough, but I don't even like having my picture taken.
I understand.
I got 3 billion photos of my kids, my dogs, everybody. But when they go, we need a picture of you. I'm like, do you really need one? Like,
right.
Is it required?
I hate taking pictures.
Yeah. And so I only have a handful of photos that I have of myself. But like the one I gave you, Rob, was from the investigation in Gettysburg.
Right. Yeah, I hate taking pictures.
Well,
I hate being on camera.
I look cute and my lashes looked on point. The reason why I keep that picture, because otherwise it wouldn't matter to me.
Right. Rob,
go ahead.
Did you say you hate being on camera?
No, I do. I mean, seriously, before I started doing my live stream.
Oh my God, it's the worst anxiety in the world. And when you sweat, it's anxiety sweat. It's so not like regular sweat. Oh my God, baloney. Oh, it's the worst.
I did not know this.
And I took public speaking.
Right.
Yeah. Like when I was on Ghost Adventures, I mean, I was like.
When were you on Ghost Adventures?
I was having a really hard time being in front of camera.
Wait, what episode was that?
Oh my God, that was.
Do you remember the vacation?
100 years ago.
It was, I think, in the fourth
Thank God for
season.
YouTube.
You mean the 1940s?
It was in the fourth season.
Do you remember the location?
Yeah, it was a Yost Theater. Somebody just asked
I remember
me if
that.
that was me on there. Yeah.
That was Santa
Yeah,
Ana,
no.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I was in Santa Ana
Yeah.
at the Yost Theater.
I remember that. Because I knew of you at the time. I don't know that we were friends, but I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah. It was the third or fourth season.
Right.
Okay. I like supporting everybody, so I'm gonna go back and watch it.
No, so anyway, so like
It's cool.
so when I first started doing my podcast, the first 3, maybe 4, I don't know, it took me a while before I started getting comfortable because I would get so nervous, and I would just have a hard time talking. But then once I started doing because I would get nervous every time I had to go on. Before I was like pacing, I was like nervous. Same thing with the live stream. The first few episodes, I was very, I'm a very, believe it or not, I used to be very, very shy. I mean, speaking even in front of a group of my friends, I had a hard time. One-on-one, no problem. And then, yeah, I just broke out of my shell. And the more I did it, the more easy it is. Now when I go on the radio, if somebody asks me to do a show, I'll do it in a heartbeat. And sometimes when I notice that the show is getting a little dry
toast got a sore throat. I hear you.
Yeah, I will try to pick up and try to bring personality to the show. And when I do that, then it brings other people up. So
Or make fun of his co-host.
I know how to take control of the show now. So there's a lot of tricks that you learn as you go on.
Josh, I could go so many directions with that.
Right. I was gonna say you found a way to keep everyone's energy up, Rob.
Yeah. But picking on the co-host,
Right. That's okay.
I'm pretty sure
No,
that a photo shoot with you and
part of the
Ashley,
fun.
I'm pretty sure we'd like solve the economic issues in the United States alone because everybody would want a calendar.
If it's going to solve our economic woes, I'll do it. If it's going to pull us out of whatever problems we have, I'll take one for the team. Absolutely.
If it will feed the people that don't have assless chaps, it's worth it.
If it will take care of those that are less fortunate and can't afford good assless chaps, I'll do it.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine?
That's for the greater good. I mean, you have to do it in that case.
Live Paranormal has to do a Paracon soon with all of us.
Oh yeah.
That's gotta be some funny stuff right there.
Oh,
I'm telling you. And see, that's kind of like how I did that too. It was for some reason, I don't know what it was. There was just something like on that day, there was something said, and I ran with it. After that, it just went downhill from there, and I have to keep on adding to it.
I know. I still show up too.
Listen, sometimes I might incite a riot with my little comment. Just saying, don't let the innocent face fool you.
Right. Yeah, right.
But if we get pulled over, you want me to talk to the cop, not you.
Right. Yeah, just kind of, I'll just go we go like this. You do it. You talk to him.
I can change a tire, but I refuse to change my own tire.
I understand.
We have advantages.
It's good policy.
It is. Listen, I've changed alternator belts in the snowbank and a skirt.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to get done.
Right.
And you always get the guy like, well, why did you do it? Because obviously he couldn't. Somebody's going to do it. It's cold.
I'd like to highlight Carl's comments really quick if we could.
Sure.
Oh, go for it.
I love Carl.
Carl says, Josh makes it so easy wearing those assless chaps and waving those paddles around. And he footnotes that with, it's that time of the show where we need to discuss Josh's problems.
Oh,
Josh's problems.
You need your own segment then.
So Josh does have problems.
Oh, I do.
Sorry. I love that thing when you do
I have one problem I'm looking at right now.
I didn't say anything about nipple clamps. You can't blame
It's
me
not
this
you,
time.
Lisa. You're not the problem, Lisa. I make him
Josh's
score.
biggest problem.
Riverside FM
Well,
is the
hold on.
easiest way.
Sorry.
Are commercials when we shouldn't be playing them? Yes.
Yes.
That is one of my problems.
Yeah, I worked at an engine rebuilder's warehouse, and they would always set up people doing.
That's awesome, Lisa. That is really cool. It is not the Saturday show. I can't pull that. How do I pull this over my head with a tie? This is a dress shirt. I can't.
But
I couldn't even do
that's
that.
one of Josh's problems. He needs TP for his bunghole.
That is a problem, sure. Yeah. It was a problem in 2020 and continued to be a problem in 2020, maybe a little bit in 2021. But stock was eventually replenished.
No, the guys that I worked with at the warehouse insisted that I learn how to change my own tire and so forth, just because if I ever need one. So they had a Christmas party, and we're all trying to get a cab. They were having no success whatsoever. I'm like, I'm tired of waiting. Can I just get the cab? And they're like, you can't just call it in. I said, I have no intentions of calling it in, but I also wasn't wearing work clothes.
Yeah, that's tough, especially work clothes. Yeah.
I got the cab.
Yeah.
And then they carried me over the puddle so I wouldn't get my high heel shoes wet.
That's tough in work clothes because you could easily get a permanent stain on something that you have to wear for work. I mean, that's tough. I feel bad. That is really tough.
Yeah.
So Carl's he wants a TP for my bunghole ringtone. So I'm gonna have to make ringtones for people.
There probably already are some.
Ren and Stimpy. We need a Ren and Stimpy one.
You fat bloated idiot! I can't do it. Ren's most famous line: "You fat bloated idiot." I can't do it. It's hard. It's really hard.
We're so bad. Like,
yeah.
This is far from politically correct, but it's politically incorrect and funny. And if you work hard, you get to play hard.
Play hard on an ITC show.
Yeah, because listen, I found that's the best relief when I'm working on cold case files, because it's a dark subject. Like, you need a little relief, because if not, it's like the World Trade Center. They had a fake discovering things for the cadaver dogs, because they were getting depressed and they didn't want to do their job. So there's got to be a little humor. It's not directed to hurt anybody. Like, people, you pronounce my name wrong. That's okay. My name gets butchered all the time too. So it's not intentional. It just happens.
Right. That's.
Oh, would you buy
said.
Deb? She had to go shopping. I just figured I'd ask. I'm always curious how other people live.
Oh, Deb said she was late. She had to go shopping. Yeah, what'd you get, Deb?
I live in the boonies. We can't get anything delivered. So like, I'm always curious. What'd you get?
Mr. Poe. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to repeat that. Yes, I did, Mr. Poe. I cannot believe Josh has now brought in stains. What?
Tide Stick will get that out. Miranda
Stains.
Lambert tells you all about it in her song.
What?
Tide Stick will get
he can't be getting his stains. He's wearing assless chaps. Unless he's staying in the chair.
I told you. Use some Pam on that chair. You won't have the friction stick. You'll just be sliding all over the place.
Or
that was funny. That was pretty funny. That was fun. See, I have to ride the line. It's like, well, yeah, they're making fun of me, but that is funny. That is really funny. But they're making fun of me. So yeah, I go back and forth. That was good. That was good. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Or Kanga's not doing a good enough waxing job on you.
That is probably it. The remote waxing. Yeah, Kanga. We're going to talk about that, but that's on a separate show.
She needs to do a better job.
Amanda.
Well, yes, especially if there's going to be Pam in my chair, because I don't want hair and Pam. No, yeah.
Dude, saran wrap. There's a solution to everything.
Saran wrap.
I mean, so I hear. Yes, Amanda, I do work cold case files. I've been doing it for a couple of years. Somebody asked me to join in. They had a bunch of psychic mediums and asked to give our opinion on a location with a map. And now I work, and it's not even just, I don't necessarily work with the law enforcement that I live in the city, other states and stuff, states I've never been. My husband got pretty tripped out about the Chicago thing because he's been to Chicago. I've never been to Chicago. Nor will I ever, because I'm a Bruins fan. They don't like me there either.
Yeah,
And
you
yes,
wouldn't want
I
to.
am that person who will walk down the street with everything, or I don't really have to have. I mean, my tank top, you can see all my Bruins tattoos. So yeah.
So Angelique is suggesting Crisco.
Well, that's grease, but I'm thinking you probably get better results with lard. Oh, I'm old school. That or Pam. I wouldn't want to have. You probably want your hair in a ponytail if you're going to use the lard, though. I'm just saying.
No, but I think Josh likes it nice and that white.
Ooh, wax and
gooey
hurts.
I definitely like oily substances around all of my audio equipment. Definitely preferable.
Yeah.
So I like where this is going. This is good. Exactly
Crisco
how I
looks
want
good.
my studio to be.
Dawn, I do
Crisco does
go to
wonders.
Pennsylvania. If you have a cold case that you want me to work on, I will go. Message my page. My bestie will figure out what works because I usually crash with her. Yeah, I'm more than happy to go to PA. I love Pennsylvania. They don't love
Mr.
me
Poe,
back, but I
shut
love
up.
them.
I'm sorry I interrupted you, Lisa.
And the last glimpse of daylight went away. And then it was so dark, even the shadows were scary. And then in the off distance, you heard somebody scream, "No, don't touch me."
Cold
I know.
cases,
I'm just as bad.
live ITC sessions, and Crisco. Again, a combination never been done before in the history of humankind.
Panga,
This is
I'm
incredible.
in Massachusetts, but anybody that needs help with a cold case file, kind of like anybody that's got a paranormal group that needs help.
Right.
I would never ask an officer to come to my house and expect him to charge me. I will work with police, any kind of law enforcement, as long as they don't. Now it's who I am. I'm pretty good about that. The cold case files are hard because, especially for the serial killers, because they ain't been caught yet, and I can see what they're seeing, so I can put myself in their shoes. Like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, I'm seeing it through their eyes and not necessarily my eyes. Or they'll show me a location, and then they might highlight something else, like say a window, so this guy's going to be able to see them all the time. Like, somebody tried that, and like, oh, we're gonna pull up. What'd you pull over for? Well, because we're gonna go check out the location. You do know it's an unsolved serial killer, right? Yeah. Put your goddamn hazards on. We have car issues. No, we don't. Person in the back seat goes, yes, we do. Until we are out of here, we have car issues. Because how did they find the body? Somebody had car issues, got out of the car, stumbled upon the body.
Right.
And mind you, all the victims kind of had this kind of cute face. So yeah, it was a bit of an issue. It was very creepy. And that one hasn't been caught either.
Don, I'm sorry, but Bang energy drinks are just nasty. I'm sorry, I just have to say.
Energy drinks. Is that like Schlitz beer? I'm just saying, is that like Schlitz beer?
They have different flavors. I mean, but everyone that I've tried, it's terrible. I could take a couple of sips and then I just throw it out.
My kids
sounds like a waste.
Try Monster drink once, and I was like, and I was in line for a video game for them, and I'm like, there's no place to spit this. You understand that? And my son goes, exactly why we gave it to you. I'm like,
Well, that's what I'm drinking.
Monster.
Amy, can you do that for a living? Psychic with what other people will do? What do you want me to do? I don't know. I must have missed something. Amy, what exactly did you want me to do?
Wait, what?
I imagine as a career, using your psychic abilities to.
Okay, so the best way I can explain this is, you know how some detectives that work in, like when there's children cases or whatever, they can't keep anybody there for too long because they get burned out. I made a promise to my son that after working on that serial killer with the children, week of Christmas, what was I thinking? That I would be more careful when I do it, only because it's very draining, and once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish there was an eraser button, but there isn't.
Right.
No, Carl, you know what? The spirits behind Josh kind of go about their business. Like it's usually the guy. Like I said, that one time was a woman and he was very sick. But sometimes that male spirit does chuckle. I'm not going to lie. He's just like,
He could be making fun of my ITC projects that I'm building. He could be looking at it like, that's not going to work.
Like again,
That's
the
not
only
gonna work.
time you and I interact is when I'm modding for the page.
Right.
Like that's
right.
the only time that we interact. So like I said, I wouldn't know if he's there on a regular basis, but you can go old school and just hang a bell and tell him to tap it when he's in the room and it will ring the bell and it's low energy so you can keep the conversation going.
You know, Lisa, I'm wondering if that is the person. I am working on a project and I am consistently getting a male voice respond. I have no way of knowing, I don't have your abilities, if that's the person who's always here with me, the male, but I am getting a male respond who's helping me, I guess you could say, kind of test this piece of equipment.
Do you EVP with him?
Well, my device is essentially live EVP, where you hear communication live without having to play it back. No radio, no word banks, no microphones.
You don't have it recorded, correct?
I am recording it internally to my computer.
Okay.
Yeah. But I am getting a male voice. In fact, I told Rob one of the first things said through my device was, take your shoes off.
He's got a clean voice. There's no really like regional accent that I can pick up. It's just, so I'm going to say Midwest.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually kind of weird because the odd, take your shoes off. That
He's a total ham and cheese sandwich on white bread. And like, he doesn't vary. So it's like mustard on ham. There's mustard on the bologna, but he might use mayonnaise for chicken. But it's like, he's very consistent with how he does his life. It's very routine.
Okay. That would make sense because my communication is very uneventful through this device. It works, but it's not, eye-popping,
Before any company can come up with these funky flavors ice creams, they got to master the vanilla, right? So it's part of the process.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's not where I'd hang the Mr. Poe. I'd hang them elsewhere.
Is he middle-aged, Josh? I don't know, Kanga, what his age is. I don't know.
I'm going to say he's about in his 40s-ish. It's a little hard to tell because, I mean, it's got a little salt and pepper in there. Not bad. He's not like a medium build. He's rather a thin build, but he's muscular.
Can I ask you a question, Lisa?
I say that all the time, Kevin. I'm not a psychic. I'm a psychotic. Oh, wait. Did I get it mixed up again?
Can I ask you a question? Sure. This might be from left field, but is it possible it's me behind me? In other words, if there's no such thing as time, could I have come back at this point in time when I'm working on this device to watch myself build this device? So
is this like, I want you to focus on the box and focus on a box inside the box to focus on the box inside that box and so entity? No, it's definitely not you. He's got more of a darkish blonde hair and it's not curly, it's straight. He's got that like military Air Force kind of tight cut. And he's got, right now he's just got the t-shirt on, but he usually wears a jacket. Okay. I keep want to say Air Force. I'm not getting anything else. Like he reminds me of the guys that I met on one of the ships that was retiring. One of the, they say, oh, take the elevator. And what they really mean is that the whole floor is going to just go push up and down, one of those ships.
Thank you for your insight on that. I've just been very curious. I really appreciate that.
Do you ever feel like you need to tie your shoes and it's not your shoes that are untied? Like dress shoes, work shoes, whatever.
Dress shoes. Oh, yes.
Because he's always having to tie his shoes. I don't know what it is about them damn shoelaces, but he needs to like do something because they keep sliding. So he's constantly bending over to tie his shoes. They're dress shoes though.
Interesting because I one of the first things I got through my device is take your shoes off. That was literally, and I was like, wait, what? That has no relevance to anything. But now maybe it does, right? Because you're explaining this to me.
So if you've seen any of the movies that, with the astronauts and they all have that same kind of Buzz Aldridge kind of haircut. That's right. I don't know why. I'm still leaning towards Air Force and I don't know why. He's just laughing at me, whatever.
Well, you've detected people behind Rob before. during live sessions.
Yes.
Well, here's the funny thing was she told me something about
Your curtain's moving right now.
It was in
Rob.
the chat. It was in the chat. And somebody saw the curtain move behind me, and I'm literally, the chair isn't even hitting the curtain. I have to reach around to touch
But
it.
it wasn't.
But
But it wasn't that curtain. It was the accordion curtain, and it looked like somebody's finger had deliberately gone through each of the
here?
folds.
That
No,
over there,
other side.
this side. So,
Yep, that one. It was that one. It's like,
so
yeah.
see, I would have to see.
It wasn't
I would have to
possible
reach
because
over.
you were drinking something at the same time and you were clicking on something when it happened. That's why I was like,
Right. Yeah, and other people saw it too. That was, I think, last Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'd have to reach, that way. And you would see my hand on camera. So, yeah, and I can't even put my foot around there. I mean, I would have to literally, move my foot around the chair to get over there.
like if you saw how close I have to have the table, like me and Fish.
Yeah, it's just an awkward position that I would have to get into to do that.
Okay, Amanda. Oh, Julie.
I was just reading that right now.
Detectives cases. I did part of my internship when I was in college was at a courthouse, and didn't take them long to figure out like she's a real good judge of character. What am I going to say? Like, oh, I'm a psychic? No.
Right.
2 guys arrested for the same assault, stolen car. First guy got in there, ratted the other guy out left and right. I just didn't like his attitude. And they're like, you think you can? I'm like, yeah, I can. I didn't even get like 3 questions in with the second guy. And I'm like, he didn't do it. It was the other guy. Because I asked him about like, oh, what radio station were you listening to? He goes, I don't know. He goes, I was still freaking out because I'm thinking my buddy just showed up with a stolen car. So you weren't in the back seat? No. Oh, okay.
Whose phone was
What the hell
going
are you
off?
doing, Josh? What are you doing?
I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here and I'm wondering
Mr.
why.
Air Force guy, could you stop playing with the lights, please? It's rather disturbing, and he's got children. I don't like it when spirits bother the kids or pets.
Yeah, what the?
Make it stop. I'm so serious. I'm as serious as a heart attack.
Oh my God, it stopped.
Sorry. I don't like spirits that pick on Felicia. You can't grab like that when there's kids involved.
Oh, I'm getting chills, Lisa.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I'll talk to him. Do you want him to leave, or do you just want him to stop touching stuff? Your house,
I don't know. I've never had this with 20 years of ITC sessions.
Okay.
I mean, once in a while I get something, but that was weird.
I'm just asking him to keep reminding himself that there's children around. And you're one of my friends, so if I have to come there to kick his ass, I will. And I'm not wearing assless chaps. I'll be wearing a skirt, but ooh, I can.
Yeah, I can tell you, and Rob knows I'm not an alarmist with ITC, that every hair on my body is standing up right now. Okay. I feel.
Do you have anything?
I'm anxious right now, and I'm just standing here, and now it
Josh,
stops.
Do you have any potato chips or pretzels or something salty in your house that you can?
I sure do.
Now, because that will reduce it, and that way it will calm everything down. I promise.
So, do I go eat them or do I go put them somewhere?
Eat them. You need to take it so that he backs off. It's almost like bug be gone, like bug spray when you eat something salty. They don't like it because it's a neutralizer.
So I literally go right now and get it?
I would if you're that freaked out. I would.
No, I'm not freaked out. I've been doing sessions in my home thousands of hours, and this hasn't happened. Like, this is just odd. But I feel something in the room.
But you don't want it to continue while you're working on your projects either.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. To be respectful. This is this man's work. It's not yours. You're on your time now. But when you're in his house, you're on Josh's time. Be aware that there's children around. Be aware that Josh has work and that it's really not for children to dabble with. He shouldn't either. He can help when asked. That's it.
Wow.
Well,
Is that an
you
acknowledgement?
really want to challenge me? You don't think I don't follow? I deliver and then some. I overwhelm. I don't underwhelm.
This has never happened to me on a Saturday show, Rob. Like,
You
it
should
actually
probably-
feels weird in this
you,
room.
You should probably go get your salty
Okay.
chips or potatoes,
I'll be right
just because it's going to make everything better.
I'll be right back.
How many times does this happen, Robert? My technical stuff doesn't work.
This is what Josh is going to be doing.
How's that new soda?
Well,
9.5 weeks in the kitchen. Yeah, Angela, it's just one of those things. Even if there's like a pet in the home and there's no children there at the time, I will, as soon as I see that the pet's being bothered, I like just jump to. I don't even give them a second, like to be like, oh, well, it's just, no, I don't want to hear you. I don't hear nothing. Make it stop. I'm tired of it already. What do you don't think I won't leave tonight and drive there? I will.
right.
Crossing
So-
over doesn't hurt, honey. Coming back into your own body hurts. Remember that.
So when we do the Friday show, what are we going to do? Are you going to have people joining in on the stream? What are we going to be doing?
Okay, so my admin for my page, she's gonna do a live feed so that it can be aired on Live Paranormal and Purple Dahlia, so it won't interfere with any of your lives. So that's
Okay.
up to you if you want to bring people on live or not, or they can just go to the page of Live Paranormal and message that they want to come on. I don't touch the
So-
technology stuff. You should
So
know,
she
Josh,
can-
but it happened one more time when you were gone.
So is she going to be calling in here, and
What
we're going to
is
do a
this?
simulcast? How are we going to do that?
He's pissed because you're eating the salty. He's like, oh, I didn't know that would work. Guess what? It did.
So how are we going to do that, Lisa? So is she going to? I'm going to send her the link, or how are we going to do that?
Whichever way you want.
Yeah,
Because listen, you're the IT tech. We're just people that like. It took us over a year to figure out how to do the one that we can do. Just saying.
all right. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm just excited about doing it.
If this happens to anybody with a paranormal location or your own home, eat something salty. It's a quick resolution to just, neutralize it. That's what sea salt does, which is why it's so much a smudger included in every kind of religion, is because it neutralizes. And
Yeah,
yes,
same
I
thing,
think
so-
like salt and then put it in your mouth, whatever.
So same thing. If you want to cleanse yourself, get some Epsom salt, put it in a tub, soak
Have a nice
yourself in
soak.
that tub, and it will help cleanse you.
You can be, and you might have showered that morning, gone to a location, and then you come home and you're feeling weird, like that hamburger. When you make a hamburger, it leaves that little bit of residue. It's the same thing. You can tell when spirits like harping on you. When you take that Epsom salt in the bath, you'll say, wow, I didn't think I was that dirty. You're not. That's just all the residual energy that you just absorbed being removed.
Yeah. And it happens.
And bay leaves is a good idea too. You can also take some sage and put it in your sneakers or shoes when you're doing the investigation. But I make liquid smudge because you can't really burn a sage stick, especially if it's a historical place. Hell no, they will pounce on you. So it's just much easier to do the liquid smudge. And it's a micro mist so that it's going a lot further. It's like the reason for the smoke from the sage is because it penetrates everything. Well, this does too.
Right.
It's just a micro mist. It's not going to soak you. It's just a little bit of moisture, but it resolves everything quickly.
Exactly.
Before, Lisa, it was blinking for 10 or 12-second intervals. Now it's just once or twice.
Yeah, but it was doing it while you were going to get your snack.
But it's not consistent every time in terms of how many times it blinks. See, now my iPad's resetting. My internet. This is really strange. Why now? I've been researching ITC my whole life. Why
Because
now?
he waved and I acknowledged him. We
Because you
acknowledged
acknowledge. Okay,
him.
then so it is literally an awareness or an acknowledgement because
Right.
I haven't acknowledged. Okay.
Right. So I'm just going to tell you first rule of Fight Club.
Yeah.
And I will taper off.
Got it. Okay. Thank
If it
you
does,
for your
if
help.
it doesn't, you just message me and I will ship you some liquid smudge.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
my liquid smudge is unlike anybody else's. Mine's super intense, so you can literally water it down to like 2 or 3 times the size that I send you.
See, that was 3 times. And back before it was 2 times. When it first started, it was about 10 times.
He's trying to challenge me. You got to remember, these are the people like back in the 1950s and stuff where women were property. Oh, isn't she cute? This and that. And I'm like one of those people from Massachusetts. I was raised different. My voice is louder than anybody's. So while you're concentrating on me being loud, I could totally take my shoe and stab you in someplace very sensitive, mister. Okay? Don't make me send my crew there because I have crew on the other side too, and they would love a shot at you. And they're all military. Desert Storm. Hey, yo.
I don't know if you heard that. I have a condenser mic and there was banging in this room.
Yeah. There's
When you said that.
But there's usually banging in that room. And then there's always a banging.
There is.
It goes.
Right.
It's always 3. That's what.
Right.
That's spirit. That's spirit.
Yeah. They're agreeing with you. Yeah. God, this room feels weird.
Listen,
my
buddy,
God.
if you wanted a part of the conversation, all you
God,
want to
Rob,
do is
this is
ask.
not-
You don't have to hijack what he's doing, and don't touch his stuff that he's working on.
Yeah, don't touch my project, please. Don't touch my project.
Virgin kids, because that will be the end all. Sorry.
No,
I'm
I
a mom
I
first.
appreciate-
I'm sorry. It's just
I appreciate your protection. On behalf of my boys and I, we appreciate it. We really do. This is just, it's fascinating. The room feels, I can't put into words.
You never acknowledged him before, and we're acknowledging him now. So now he thinks he's got like an invite. I didn't say invite. I just said, hey, he's back there. He waved. I waved back. Hey,
Right.
there you go. That's it.
I've never, as long as I've done this show, I've never had a light flicker ever. I've never had a light flicker. Rob,
never lost power while down here until the other day when I was talking to Rob. It went out. By the time I said, oh, crap, it's a power failure, it went back on. And then it happened more times. And I know it was spirit that did it. Back in the 1950s, women were still pretty much property. We were cute. We were to be looked at. We weren't to be heard. We were like one step below a dog. Isn't that comforting? Because so much has changed in the world, right?
It's horrible to even think humans acted in those ways towards any sex or gender or religion or anything. It's disgusting.
No one religion's better than another.
Right.
Nobody had a right to tell anybody else who you can and cannot marry because they were a different religion, color of the skin. Who cares? You're not in the relationship. A relationship is 2 people, not 2 and Joe Public. It's just not. And I just judge everybody on their own merit. Like, so what if there's a reputation of one person or another? That's not the person that I met. That's not the person that they're showing me when I'm with them or when I've met that child or not. So I don't believe it. I just believe that's how they want to be perceived.
Right.
Listen, in my head, I'm a size 0. I'm like a supermodel on Sports Illustrated. I am in my head.
In our heads, yeah.
But I'm not running down the street in some like dental floss and calling it a bikini either. Like, hello, there's reality.
Right.
Yeah, I
Kevin
have
says,
the salt lamps and I have the salt rocks. I have everything going. It eats out the negative ions so that it replaces them with something positive.
I see. I'm definitely gonna do that.
So Kevin,
I'm sorry.
I used to.
I'm sorry if I've triggered this because I acknowledged him. I didn't know.
I've been having. It's funny. This actually piggybacks on what Kevin is saying. We were warned not to do ITC in our house. I've been doing it for decades and never, ever had an issue until the Saturday night shows when we really started putting massive energy into these experiences, and that's when I've been getting the knocking and things like that.
If you're gonna sell your home, you should do your due diligence. Like, you don't want to park in a parking meter and get too close to them so they can't leave, right? You don't want to leave this residual energy there. You are going to want to smudge before you leave the house.
Right.
If you were to sell it.
I see. Okay. I'm not planning on it, but
Just for giggles.
Right. No, I get it.
Mr. Air Force Man, were you actually in the Air Force? Can you answer yes by blinking the lights? Were you an astrophysicist? I don't know if I said that right.
JPL is it's probably about, I'll say about 25 miles away from where Josh lives, maybe
Right.
25, maybe 30 miles between there.
It's a 20-minute drive, 25-minute
About
drive.
25-minute drive.
Hey, I work
I guess
for,
I could get
for a
salt, right?
taco. I could be there.
And that's where Devil's Gate is.
Deb, as soon as I said I could go get salt, I said the word salt, it blinked twice.
Most people don't know that, just so you know. Like, I know stuff and I have no reason to know it. Like, I know herbs and stuff like that I shouldn't know, but I'm the one that figured out with the salt thing, and now it's the biggest thing and the easiest thing you can take with you and just be safe. Other than it looks like you brought the cool snacks to the location you're investigating, it's really there for safety.
Yeah. JPL is still there. I don't know when it was established. When was JPL established? I could look it up. Hold on.
You know, I was literally, I had my hands on the armrests of my chair to get up and go get salt, and the light turned off. And it's plugged in. It's a light that's actually powered. It's plugged in, meaning I have to flick the switch to turn it off. Okay. And it's getting DC power.
If he can,
so JPL was
a pest, you're just going to sprinkle a little sea salt in the room or your entire property. Just a little bit. You don't have to go excessive, or you can just do it to the house and then leave it there for a day and then sweep it out the front door and just tell them to go back from whence you came and never to return.
Yeah.
Okay.
So JPL was founded in the 30s.
It's not that he's harmful, Nora. It's just that he's being bothersome. And if you don't stop him now, so then what? It's okay for him to mess with Josh's work. Oh, and then what? Like, oh, let me go to, give your kids some nightmares. You have to be on top of him the second go to be like, no. And he's questioning whether or not I have the cojones to do it. Oh, I got the cojones to do it.
Maybe it's the man who my son, and I shared this on a show recently, my 8-year-old son felt or heard a breathe, like a sigh in the hallway right in front of his face. And he said it sounded like a man going, like that. And I'm wondering now, because this happened just last week, right? I forgot what show I mentioned on. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. And now this is happening. So it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Like some people, once they start dabbling in EVPs and so forth, or the white noise, they sort of withdraw from society. That's the worst thing you can do, because then you just have to be stronger. So you need to go out and do stuff. Catch some sunlight once in a while, I know I burned by moonlight. I burned by moonlight, but
right. You and I both, Lisa, that I think that's why I'm so pale, is because everyone's going out and enjoying their. Well, I have children, but I guess when they're asleep, I'm inside constantly working on this stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm always this pale. Like I got that Irish thing going, so like when I connect with spirit, I get all the red blotchies, and which I didn't realize anybody else could notice. And then, like when we went to do that like serial killer in Massachusetts, the person I brought, and he's like, "You never bring me on your investigations." Like, yeah, and he's like, something's up. No, nothing's up. I just want you to go and have a good time. And then he goes, "Oh, I get it."
Right.
Yes. Keep your eyes open.
Oh my gosh.
Was he? I would not. Listen, as a general rule, I try not to give any credence to serial killers or demonics and so forth. Listen, I'm sure they're not looking me up. I'm not looking them up.
Right.
I mean, if that was the topic, then I might Google his name just to see if it was what it was, but that's about it.
Yeah, I have some interesting stories.
There's always going to be somebody. There's going to be that one that wants to test you.
Yeah.
Right.
I have some interesting stories of Devil's Gate. maybe we'll talk about that some other time. But I mean, because we're talking about JPL's right across. Alistair Caroli and Jack Parsons actually did some rituals there at Devil's Gate. So
Oh,
there's
shnikes.
a lot of dark history there. There's
Isn't that
also
isn't that the guy in England that they it's overseas? I know that the house is constantly being broken into, and the cops have tried and tried and tried because people still think they can bring him back.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard that.
It's Germany. Thank you, whoever just chimed in. Okay, it's Germany. Did he claim to be the man right under Satan?
Who, Alistair Crowley?
Yeah.
He started at OTO.
Listen, this is initials again. What's OTO?
I forget what it stands for.
Yes. Show me no. Did he believe that he was right underneath Satan as far as hierarchy? Yes.
This is what it stands for.
John, but we're playing that game, first rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club.
Right.
So just be careful, because what can happen is you can open yourself up by bringing him up in the chat, and then guess what? Josh don't have a house. Guess you do.
Right. Got it.
But how close are you to any haunted location? Like, it's not a place that you have to drive by every day, right? Like, I would say, I'd avoid some funeral homes if that was the case.
You talking about my drive?
Yeah.
My drive is so routine. Both instances, I'm not driving by. Well, if I do go into Santa Monica, Los Angeles and Hollywood, there's a ton of energy there. Nowhere specifically. No.
Okay.
I'm trying to
I
think.
just want to make sure you didn't go to a new location.
Well,
no, I'm not saying Mr. Crowley was a bad man or not. I'm just saying that's how I would know him, is because I must have seen it sometime in my childhood. It was on TV, like Unsolved Mysteries or something. Again, I've dealt with some demonics, and we have a pretty good understanding. I'm not there to push, nudge, or instigate. I just want their side of the story.
Right.
Sometimes that's all they want, is just to be heard or acknowledged.
Yeah.
Let me try something.
No, there's just a. Oh no! I mean, that's another subject. That's just another subject. I mean, we could talk about Devil's Gate later, but
dude, we could talk about locations for the next 300 years, and we're still not going to cover everything.
No, I know. I mean, Devil's Gate is pretty. It's a pretty cool place. I mean, it's a little creepy, especially if you go there at night. But I've gone there during the day a few times. There's also a kid that was murdered in the tunnel. So basically, Devil's Gate is a dam, and then there's a long tunnel that leads into the dam. And it's really cool. It's gated up, but there's ways in. And when we're inside, I actually caught a kid. It was a shadow figure it was a child. So it was kind of interesting because it coincided with the legend, I guess, or the story where there was a kid that was murdered. Yeah, for me to capture a shadow person of a boy, that was kind of interesting. And the funny thing is I did a ghost box session with one of my ghost boxes, and you can't get radio signal in that location. I mean, it's solid rock. You're going inside the side of a mountain, basically, that was carved to build that tunnel.
So not even a cell phone. You won't get any bars in it. Is that what you're trying to say? It's
so for me to do a ghost box session and get responses in the middle of the tunnel all the way back inside was pretty amazing.
Yeah, King, I don't listen. Everybody, this is the best way I can describe it. First person to be a doctor in the family, right? It's not you hear hoof prints. Oh, it's a pony. Right away they go, oh my God, it's going to be a zebra. It's going to be the third world country disease that's going to take over. Dude, why can't it just be a pony? Why can't it be a pony, right? With spirits, not everything's going to be demonic. Some are just butt heads in life. And then when they crossed over, hey, he's still a butt head. Doesn't mean that he's not demonic. It just means like, oh, well, he's a butthead. Some people are like, oh my God, well, what level demon is he? Why? Like, is he that significant to you? Like, hey, you want to date him? That's your choice, not mine. Like, I can tell you what he gives me, but that's it. But yeah, I always err on the side of caution because better to have and not need than to need and not have. And especially when we're dealing with families, children's, and pets. We play no games.
Right.
Because if you give a mouse a cookie, Josh, he's gonna want he's gonna want breakfast too. And that moose ain't getting no muffin. Outsies.
Yeah.
You know, Lisa, I just thought of something. And I can't believe I didn't think about this. Kanga Blue just said this. And it's kind of freaking me out. Kanga Blue says, you don't go by JPL, Josh? I don't even know where that came from. Actually, I do. I do go by there off the 210 for work, probably 4 to 5 times a month. And the freeway, as Rob knows, is literally you could probably hop over the freeway fence and you're touching Devil's Gate.
Yeah.
But did anything draw your attention at any one of those times passing through? No.
I always look over there.
Yeah, but it's not like you're not doing something other than the ordinary that would have invited something in. Like I said, this guy here, I'm sensing is not a family member. But he has some sort of military background. And again, I'm still want to stick with Air Force. I don't know. Like, would I be able to spot? No. Unless somebody says, hey, I'm with the Air Force. I'd be like, oh, hey. But I wouldn't know an Air Force guy from one. The Marines are a little different. You don't mess with the Marine. And there's no such thing as a retired Marine or an ex-Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine, and they don't vary.
Well, I'm very respectful. I'm not going to show my guests any disrespect at any time, but this is the first time consistently since this has happened. This room still has a palpable, tangible energy to it. I'm going to tell you, like, it's not wanting me to talk, meaning I have an urge to keep my mouth shut and not talk, and I feel like it's trying to just not want me to communicate. If that makes any sense?
Do you not want Josh to talk? Well, who the hell are you? It's his place, not yours. Maybe you should be not seen or heard unless he invites you. Can you follow those rules? I mean, I don't stutter. Listen, I'm warning you because it won't take but like a few minutes for me to figure out a way to get the liquid smudge there. Or find somebody local that I know makes some good smudge to take care of you. Do you understand?
So, Seabeth.
Are we going to stop now? Yeah, it's done with. You shouldn't have any more issues. If you do, it's just easy. I'll just mail you some.
I know you said not to talk about it. Yeah.
Listen, when I say not talking, like, we're not going to be focusing the conversation. If you want to talk to him, he knows that he has to be invited. Like, hey, I want to have a conversation with you. But he knows at all times he needs to be respectful and be aware of your surroundings, that there are children in that area. Mamas don't play.
I'm a daddy bear, so I feel like I need to get out of my chair and like I got to start walking around. Just like I feel
like I
don't feel uncomfortable or threatened, but this is weird. This is weird, Lisa. This hasn't happened to me before.
He usually paces back and forth behind you.
It feels like, when you're sitting down and eating dinner and there's someone standing up in the kitchen and looking in your direction and you're like, what? Go sit down or eat. It feels like someone's watching you eat. That's what it feels like right now. I feel like I have to get up and like either
My
leave the
husband's
room
like,
or do something. It's just very
how,
strange.
how can you go from a dead sleep to wake up and go, there's a spider in the room? You were asleep. I go, I know, but there's a spider over there in the room. You're going to kill it. If not, and I want to see it get smushed, because other than that, I'm not sleeping. It's just how I am. You just know when you know. That's the best way I can explain. You know when you know.
Yeah.
Could the spirit be for one of us and giving attention? No. Again, he's specifically there to help Josh with whatever project he's working on. And he feels that his input is invaluable.
I'm very grateful, but this is literally, and even the guests, our audience, our family on this show has never, of all the hours I've been on this show, nothing has ever happened like this. Even in the 20, 25 years, I keep repeating myself because this is happening. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is really palpable and it's still here.
If you need to eat some more of the chips.
Yeah, it's just weird. This is.
Or you can
even
also
Rob.
listen, I carry sea salt with me at all times. Like, this isn't a joke. This is like a pittance compared to the big containers that I buy. By the way, you can find them at Marshall's for like $3, like 5 pounds of it. You don't even have to sweat it. But just sprinkle a little bit in the room and then see if it continues. After that, then I would instruct you, because there's 4 types of sea salt. So there's the white, which is kind of vanilla. There's the pink, which means, all right, we really need you to pay attention. And then the black ones usually, and I say this, it has to be food grade. Because if you get the witch's salt, it's a entirely different thing. You don't know what they're mixing in it. But the black sea salt sends a direct message. Now, if that didn't work, then I'd be like, okay, so we need to add some stuff to there. And it would vary depending on the situation. But if I have to break out graveyard dirt, it had better be cold beer afterwards.
Yeah, I don't. Oh my God. Yeah, it's Kevin. No, I have not been taking a break. In fact, it's been ramping up a lot. My project's getting closer and closer to completion, and I'm wondering if that also has something to do with it, because I'm getting a male talking more through the device.
Because maybe he feels like he's not going to be needed. But you could totally run something to record the voices to see if he'll come through. Or
you know what? I do have. You know what?
Even while you're on the air, you don't have to say it to anybody. Just run it and see what you get.
Just run my recorder really quick.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree, Lisa. He believes he can assist, not just paranormal assistance, but his professional qualifications could help too. But Kanga, am I right thinking I can't even say the last one, astrophysicist?
Yeah, astrophysicist.
Yeah, yeah. As you can tell, I'm not one. I'm not even sure I could pull it off with a lab coat. Yeah, but he's all Buzz Aldrin. Like, I don't know how to describe it. He's just got that. This has to be done here, and it's always going to be put back there. I get it. Everything has a place, and everything will always be found in that place. You always put it back in the place you took it from. I get that. But at this point, now he's infringing on Josh's work and Josh's environment where he's supposed to feel safe. Everybody's supposed to feel safe in their own home. If you don't set the rules, then you're not stopping them. And that's how little tyrants are brought about.
You know, I guess the question is, Lisa, for any of us researching ITC, you, Rob, myself, and anyone in the chat, our family, is this indicative of us asking for help? Because I will tell you now, working on this project, I was making tremendous progress and I hit a major roadblock. And I put that intention out there to the universe or to my spirit guides saying, I could really use some help. I'm not understanding what I'm supposed to do now. So do you think that this is a kind, helpful person? Maybe they're here to help. They're an astrophysicist, like, hey, Josh can't figure it out, but maybe there's something I can do to help him.
Yeah. See, I put out in the universe, I wanted free puppies. Free, not 3. Just so it's clear of that.
Free. Yeah, the universe said, 3? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, so my experience requires be careful what you wish for.
Right. Yeah. Well, they sent an astrophysicist to help, and he's here.
And to be honest, I don't really know what the hell that is. I'm sure he plays with big toys and they cost millions of dollars for a tiny little thumbtack. I don't know. But he's giving me the Buzz Aldridge, and I went to the Nassau and down to Florida. You know what I can take away from that? There was a gator in the water in the little ravine that wasn't fenced. Good. Ask me anything about the place. That's all I can remember is there's an alligator and there's no fence. You don't want me trespassing over there in solid cement. I get that. But you better do something about the alligator. That's
Right,
right. Across the tarmac. Like, hello. Yeah, it's just one of these things. I don't even know what an astrophysicist should do. I'm pretty sure he's not making coffee.
Right. Yeah, definitely not making coffee, but probably something to do with physics in our dimension on the quantum level, possibly even different, that may have to do. And say, I'm not working with anything on the quantum level, but I don't, obviously if someone's an astrophysicist, they're probably looking at my project and going, yeah, I know what you need to do to fix that.
Did you ever?
I would imagine.
Did you ever watch the movie Good Will Hunting?
Of course.
One for me, my Massachusetts. Hey.
I was going to say, yes.
He fills out the equation, right? And then runs away. And the guy's like, you're erasing somebody else's work. Again, he did it because he can. He didn't do it because he was told to or he should. And then when he was demanded of him, Will's like, oh, hell no. You're not telling me what to do. I've paid the price. I've sacrificed. I've been abused. I have this. I don't want this. Tell me what I'm supposed to do with this that's going to benefit me in my life to make me happy. Nothing. So just because he can and he's helpful, that's great. But stay in your own lane. Meep.
Right.
Everybody
should just learn how to stay in their own lane. You can wave.
100% agree.
Wave, but not everything is everybody's business. So that's what I'm saying. If you're going to help them, but
right.
Exactly.
It's not a bad thing to be like, well, and the best way I can explain is somebody had what I would consider famous or important comment on one of their feeds. Awesome. But that person took it to a next level. Like, did you see? And I'm like, yeah. Well, you should be impressed. Okay. There's something up. I go, there's nothing up. I go, will you stop talking about my friend dated him? Is that what you want to know? Well, you didn't say you knew him. You go, you didn't ask. You were too busy going, look, it's a big, famous name. And I'm more like, oh my God, he's the funniest guy. And we had the greatest time hanging out with him, getting burgers. That's what I'm thinking. I just don't look at it from everybody else's perspective. I go, either you're helping or you're part of the problem.
Right.
There's only two lanes for me. And I'd rather be in the helping section and wave at those that are making the problems.
Yep,
exactly.
Nora, I was actually noticing the lights as they were flickering. When it first started, numerically it was higher. It was flashing 9, 10, 11, 12 times, it seemed like. And then it went to 3s. And generally the number 3 numerically or in numerology, or even in talking about the spirit world or in that connotation, usually 3s mean the ascended masters are with you, that your spirit guides are with you, generally. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. There's a few different connotations. 3 is
my number, and it's not even a number I want. It's just the number that keeps happening to me. The ascended masters are helping you. Usually this means an ascended master you feel close to. For example, Jesus, Kuan Yin, a saint, or some other spiritual religious figure. I will say that the number 3 is always associated in every investigation. I hear.
So 3s are the ascended masters, or yeah, because I'm hearing taps in 3s.
Yeah,
three sets of 3s.
Right. We searched for a house for a year and a half. This house was on the market. Nobody looked at it for a year. Nobody. It's named St. Jude. I have a sister named Mary Jude that she didn't live very long. My husband has a cousin that's named Jude. It's my mother's favorite saint and favorite cause. It was the 23rd house we looked at that day. It's the 3rd house from the main street. And it's 42. So what number's missing? Yeah, we'll take
3.
it. Yeah, we'll take it.
Gosh.
You haven't even looked at the whole house. Trust me.
Right.
We're taking the house. They said it was the
Wow.
quickest house sale or the deal, like when you signed all the contracts.
Ever.
Ever. How is it? I'm like, I never said. He's like, no, I showed you the house. I'm like, you did not show me this house. It sat on the market for a full year. The previous owner, his friend was the realtor for him. And we put our furniture in the exact same spot as he had his. We don't know him.
Right. Yeah. How would you know that? Right.
Right. So like
Yeah.
3, there's something about the 3. I prefer my
Right.
lucky number to be 8. Thank you, Cam Neely. But yeah, and yet they gave me 3. Thank you so much. That doesn't even equal the same.
Wow.
Anything on the recorder, Josh?
You know what? I have to take out my monitoring. Are we going to be live for a few more minutes? I can check right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on one second.
That rolling thunder that you hear are my 3 puppies. It always sounds like rolling thunder. People are like, oh, there's a storm. No, it's just my McNuggets. That's all. Who just turned 1 year old on Monday.
Wow.
We got them itty bitty cupcakes. They ate the frosting and left the cupcake. And we got the little ones too. So the first time I sang happy birthday, they were all freaked out. The second time, they're like, okay, this means food. The third time, which is the time we gave them the cupcakes, they're like, yeah, we know this. They're like, wait, we can eat that? Wait. Usually we get yelled at to leave it, but now you want us to eat it. Yeah, they ate the frosting and walked away. My husband was like, why did you not eat the cake? Cute little buggers. But we didn't feel like getting them a whole cake would have been worth it. I mean, she's 3 pounds, the other one's 7, the other one's maybe like a little 8 pounds. Like a whole cupcake we could cut into 4 ways and it still would have been too much. It was just funny seeing walk around with like heart sprinkles all over their noses. Oh, is he listening?
Yeah, he's listening.
The shadow guy's back. He's in the back. He wants to listen too. Oh, he's upset that he can't listen. Oh, well. Use your manners next time.
So
Does anybody have any quick questions they want to ask me about being a medium or why I color my hair purple? Whatever questions. My uncle died last week and he was
any questions you guys want to ask, feel free.
No, see, Beth, I'm not getting that it's connected with you. He's specifically connected to Josh at this moment, but it's from like through work, like whatever he's working on. He feels that his background is invalid to him continuing the project. I don't know who Kevin Smith is. I do know who Ben Affleck is. I do know who Matt Damon is, who stayed in the city I used to live because I'm nice to my male people. The mailmen know everything. And I've spoken to Ben Affleck through Messenger because I made a comment on a page and then 3 months went by and then he must have seen it and he was like, I just want to thank you for your support. Because, the paparazzi were being particularly hard on the man. I mean, if you have an alcohol issue, there's nobody that's going to be more critical on themselves than ourselves. We don't need to hear like,
exactly.
You think you should do this? You don't live there.
Here's a question for you.
How do I open myself up again? It's been a while since I got communication. Have you been injured or going through a transitional phase in your life? Because if you are, then it might not be because of anything you're doing. It just might be because spirit thinks that you have too much on your plate. But you can also ground, bubble yourself up with protective light, and meditation helps. It sounds so dumb. I know it does, but it's like anything you learn new, you have to practice to get good at it. So it becomes second nature. And once you get in the habit of doing it, and in that order, it becomes super easy. Like it used to take me a while to ground and meditate before I would go live, and I'd still freak out. And then now it's just sort of takes me like 2 minutes, not even.
Right.
Did he come with rubs?
There's another question.
No. That's what I said, Kanga, but then again, because I'm a girl, what would I know? I know many ways to get rid of bodies. That's what I've learned over the last couple of years, and that's gross. I don't know if it's necessarily connected to the ITC, Kevin Hart. I will say that it's because of the whatever. Listen, I could be standing there and I could be standing there with top secret information in front of me. I'm not going to notice it because it's way below, way. I'm like so down here on the totem pole, and Josh and Rob are up there. So really, I wouldn't know. It's above my pay grade. Like, oh, look, he's got technical stuff out. Ooh, don't touch nothing. And don't forget, Friday is Rob's birthday. I know he's trying to, don't bring me into it, but yeah, I'm bringing you in. It's your birthday. There's only one time in your life you're going to be giving your own day, and that's your birthday. The only exception is if you get adopted, and then you get a gotcha day, which I never heard of a gotcha day. Third eye meditation will help, Don. Paddle time. Yeehaw! There's always going to be somebody that wants to kick somebody when they're down. My whole point is that no matter what it is, say if you were addicted to chemicals, drugs, liquor, you could be addicted to anything, okay? If you fall off the wagon, don't beat yourself up. Get back up and start again. They don't care how many times we fall. They're only taking note of how many times we come back fighting. That's it.
Exactly right.
Listen, and I've had those days, like my kids know, like if my door is closed, then that means mommy's having a moment. That's right. Or if I ask for Dove bars, don't question it. Just make sure you're not eating mom's Dove bars, because I don't usually eat them. If I have to be having a particularly bad headspace to be doing that. And to this day, Rob and Joni are the only two that I can astro at the same time. It's so weird to do that when you remote.
That was weird.
And then you see somebody there, but like you were doing nonchalantly. I'm like, oh, all right, yep, there's a selfish smell. And then I was like, there's no sneakers in Gettysburg. What the hell? And then I look over, it's Rob. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm like, okay, but that's weird.
That was weird.
And how many times Rob and Nikki have tried to get that? They were trying to see if it worked with every medium. No, we've never been able to do it. You're the only one I've been able to do it to besides Joni. That's it.
It was very, very strange. I will admit that was really strange.
Funny as hell, but yeah, it was very, very weird.
Yeah.
Like I'm hoping to go back to the USS Salem soon because they have a Paracon sometime in 2022. But they keep inviting me to do a table. When am I gonna? I don't have nothing to sell. I got liquid smudge. Here you go, $20. Like I'm gonna stand there all day selling. Who wants some smudge here? Smudge here, like the Boston Garden. It's not gonna happen. Like nobody wants to. I just want to go back and see if that ghost that decided he was going to scare the piss out of me in the bathroom, if he thinks he's going to be funny, because guess what? I can control my stuff now. I said to my son, well, you come work the table. And he goes, I ain't going back there. Listen, my son had metal embedded in his eyeball the other day, and he stayed at work another 4 hours because he was trying to give like the eye wash chance to do its job. And he went to the hospital. They removed it. And I said, okay, you're going to need this. He's like, okay. And he went back to work and finished his shift. That's how my son is. Okay. Hockey player kids grow up to be strong men. Will you come to the USS? Hell no. Yeah.
To the what?
USS Salem, because that was his first investigation, and he connected so well. And I think I told you, there's like this little metal cord like on a catwalk, and we're right against a cage. Like literally, it's like the shimmy shimmy. And my son goes, holds on to the cage. And before I even got a chance of why, the whole part of the ship, the helicopter pad, all that area shook like hail. And the first thing was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What happened?" He goes, "I don't know. Some guy said, tell your mother to hold on." But he won't go back there. But his girlfriend's like, "Hey, I'll go." I'm like, "You're hired, Rhea." "What are you paying?" I go, "Coffee and donuts." That's what I'm paying.
So I need to upload the file so everyone can hear this.
Okay.
Oh, he got something.
Yeah, I got 3 things, and I don't know if they're related. The first one was very quietly at 38 seconds. Do I tell you what I think it sounds like, or should I just upload the file after the show and then everyone else can just... How about I just let everyone else... Because I don't want to bias anyone.
You're not planting any seeds in my head. You got to work a little harder than that, though. If you're going to do that, you need to work harder. Okay.
So on this recorder, I'm not using any other audio editing software, anything, just straight out of this recorder, no noise reduction, nothing. At 38 seconds, it sounds like it's him. It's him. It sounds like it's him.
Is that when we were asking, like, if they were here for Rob or they were here for you?
You can hear your voice talking in my headphones. This recorder's picking it up, but you hear a male voice whisper, "It's him." I don't know exactly what you were talking about at the time.
Okay.
But shortly after.
But this is how that experiment that I was talking about that we're going to do on Friday. This is basically what we're going to do. Only you're not going to be able to see nothing.
Exactly. This is going to be live with ITC sessions. You're going to hear those responses live in person. Right. About 20 seconds later, when you can hear, I remember when you were talking about this person being part of the Air Force, the voice to me sounds like, "I'm driven. I'm driven. I'm driven." At the end, when we say this is about 4 minutes in, when we say the number 3s and how the 3s usually refer to an ascended master,
Of which he is.
Then I heard, yeah, like a whispered yeah.
Listen,
without any color.
It's like Mozart. Where would we be if there wasn't a Mozart, right? You can't tell me that Mozart doesn't want to come back and write a few more trillion songs out of it, or orchestra things. He's the same way. I get it, but he's going about it in the wrong way. When he's asked for his opinion, he should give his opinion when he's asked. Until then, his opinion is your opinion, because you're only going to ask him if you need his opinion.
Right.
Stay in your own lane.
That's wow. Rob, do we have a site to upload this to? If people are even interested, or I'll find a way. I'll figure out somewhere to upload it if someone's interested in hearing it.
Here's the thing. I wonder now that he's met me, is he going to try to come to the SK Pierce Mansion? I'd just like to know, because I'll just dress a little nicer. That's all.
You better find out now.
I mean, what we can do is, we can.
And Garlic's supposed to work on vampires, and there's many types of vampires: energy vampires, psychic vampires, and then the blood-sucking vampires, just so you know.
We can, I guess, I don't know. We could play them later, or I don't know. We can share it. Whatever you want to do. Doesn't matter to me.
Well, I have to get loopback set up. So probably we could also do on the next shows, I can play it live, because by that time I should have loopback, and then I can actually just stream the file.
But you could also have evidence afterwards that you can go over to compare it, even the stuff from the SK Pierce Mansion, what you guys are going to be doing, and see then we'll see if it's the same voice, because it might be the same voice. I don't know.
Right.
This definitely won't get there.
This was definitely EVP. It was whisper. There wasn't a lot of tone or color in the voice, but it's very possible it could be identified again this Friday, because we do pick up EVP in our ITC sessions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Now, you said that you were stuck on a certain aspect of the project.
Yes.
The best way I can explain it is if I'm working on crochet and I have a knot and I have to sit there and I have to focus just on the knot. And then it gets very frustrating when you can't get the knot after 3 hours. Like you just want to cut it, but you know that's going to be more headache than it's worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that the kind of mental block you're having right now?
It very much is. And in fact,
you
it
want
has
to you want to throw stuff.
You know, Lisa, I do. Several times I have programmed and coded things to what in theory should work out perfectly. You know, the maths should work out, and the maths didn't work out. And I finally kind of cleared the blockage, but it was a situation where your knot that you're referring to was my signal flow, essentially. And it was knotting up in places I didn't want it to. So it was a very good analogy.
Did you, I can't even believe I'm asking this. Did you use a calculator?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Like,
I have
thinking,
to.
Who wants to do all that math? Screw that.
Right.
Calculator's the way to go, buddy.
Yes, math is.
I get somebody questioning the math. So I don't know. Did you not use the FOIL method? First, outer, inner, last. Did you use the FOIL method? Like somebody's questioning the mathematics. So at that point, I just want to say maybe it's going to be too much to start the math from the beginning. Is there a possibility of an inversion of numbers?
Literally exact. I'm working with inverse.
Listen,
I'm working with.
Don't I look like I would be the type that has this thing all nailed down in technology because it comes down to math? I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just telling you what's coming from them.
The math I'm working with a finite impulse response filtering, and the mathematics is very complex. It's well above. I basically had to teach myself mathematics higher than I know so I could try and code this, which it's working, but it's taking far too long and lots of trial and error. So
Okay.
I think that's what you're picking up on. Yes, it's the wiring and the routing. I finished a long time ago. It's the coding and the math. Yeah.
Because you know when you copy something down and maybe you say, oh, I'm just going to push through and I'm just going to finish this up and then go to bed. And then all of a sudden, your grocery list becomes like batteries and, I have to have the oil change in the car. And you're like, where the hell did this come from? It feels like there was something not transcribed. Or there's a decimal point. There's something with the number 1 in a decimal point. So I don't know what that is because I'm not looking at your mouth and I don't want to look at your mouth. So
That's very interesting that you picked up on that.
I just think it's funny because I don't even know if I knew what the FOIL method was in college. So what the hell would I be using the FOIL method? Yeah, I use FOIL all the time to bake. That's all I use it for. FOIL method.
Interesting. I could actually relate directly to what you're talking about in terms of the mathematics. Like literally what you just said makes perfect sense.
Okay, because I'm
literally pulling it up right now.
Yeah, I don't really know where it's coming from, especially the FOIL method. I assure you, the only foil I deal with is aluminum foil. That's it.
No, but this essentially is order of operations in terms of they're called taps, and you calculate these taps, which calculate the curve and the area under the curve for this filtering. And essentially what you refer to is exactly probably errors in my math because it's very tedious and it's the boring part of this project. It's,
I mean, to me, I would think everybody would use a calculator. We're not sitting there with an alibus or something where you move the beads around. I never understood that one either. Yeah, calculator is the way to go. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Deb, I'm using MATLAB.
Things you flip the numbers around and we'll make a word like hello. Or booby?
I wish it was that easy. I wish it was that easy.
I'm just saying that's what I know a calculator to be. That's pretty much all I've ever used it for.
Right. No, I appreciate your insight because there's no way you would have known what, like you pinpointed.
I assure you, if it was laying smack dab in front of me, I'd still go, oh, that's cool. Don't spill nothing on it. Yeah.
Wow. I can't believe how, yeah. So yeah, there's probably issues with my math. I mean, the device is working, but I feel like it's not quite there. Like I could actually increase the potential of stochastic resonance. There's a few frequencies I can still line up and amplify the voices. And that's where I'm falling short a little bit.
I'm being told that you need to tie up your ends. It's kind of like when you do a house, you renovate and then you gotta go back and go, ooh, they missed a spot there with the paint. Ooh, we gotta wipe that off. It's like the finessing.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Literally what I have left is finessing. You are incredible.
My
this is
uncle
incredible.
David, who was
God, this has been a weird
was
night.
a professor at Harvard, he was an engineer professor. He's laughing at me and he's like, "Girl, you're doing us all proud. We know you don't know what the hell you're talking about, but you're still like, you're just giving it to him as little bit as you can." Abacus, whatever. Yeah, the thing with the beads. 9 times out of 10, my children were eating it. They weren't counting the little things. They're gnawing on it.
Lisa, I have to tell you how many times Rob has called me after he's talked to you and he's just like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe how accurate she is. She got everything down to a T. Like, I can't believe it. And she knew things I had never told her before." And
Listen, I don't want to be right all the time.
you are though, Lisa. You're right. You are right all the time. How did you do this? Oh my gosh.
I know it's crazy.
Oh my gosh. I know exactly what you're talking about too. Wow. This is a weird night. This is a weird night.
Like, did I understand what they said? Oh my God, I did understand what they said. My uncle's making the comment, osmosis. Okay.
Yeah.
Osmosis.
Wow.
He says you're heading in the right direction. You're just going to go back and check your math.
Yes.
So I don't.
Yes. No radio, no microphones,
okay,
no word banks.
Hold on. Josh, do this. Do this.
Oh.
Josh. Attaboy, Josh. Attaboy.
High five, man. Woo! Go team. Woo! Yeah. Woo! Oh, this is too much fun.
And this, like I say to people, it doesn't change how
it's not even Saturday.
My socks on in the morning, but if it helps you, that all the better power to you.
No, this is great. This actually may be my most memorable show so far. Oh, even over the Saturday shows, just for me personally.
If I make your most
Thank you,
memorable
Lisa.
show, that's not speaking a lot.
No, I will forever remember this show and the information you shared and just all the revelations of the show, everything we talked about.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Like literally, this is what I do to meditate. I do crochet. Carry it into bars with me. I don't care. The supermarket, if my husband's looking to buy something like an appliance, I just bring it with me. Yes, dear. Yes, dear. Keeps me from losing my.
Thank God I had my pants on.
Yeah, I never used to have to tell people that. Like, I'll bring you on live, and then I had to go. I'm gonna need you to make sure you have clothing on.
Yeah, got clothing on.
Why do you ask that? I go, I'm not asking it. Spirit's demanding it. I'm just saying.
Fully clothed live streaming is highly recommended.
Like you can go in your pajamas, but those pajamas better go down to the kneecaps at least.
Right. Woo! Wow, what a show.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Jeez. One for the books.
I think so.
Rob, I'm just so glad someone's helping me with my project. Because, the things I've told you, I'm like, oh man, I just don't think this is going to work. 3 months later, oh man, I don't think this is going to work. I think it's going to work.
You don't think?
No, I think it's going to work now. This was when it first started.
See, I get into trouble when I start thinking. That's my problem.
Yeah, exactly. Overthinking, right? I think that's part of it.
I think we all do that, though.
Kevin says, however, we know. In fact, we've talked about that on this show. Rob and I have talked about that, and I know a lot of people in the audience have talked about overthinking, especially when it comes to ITC. Sometimes not being in the moment or just feeling it, trying to overanalyze things sometimes too much.
My uncle always says that keep it simple, stupid. Or keep it stupid, simple. Whichever works for you and gets you to the A to the B, that's what you need to go with.
Karen, thank you. This has to be one of the best shows I've seen today. They're always my favorite. Every most current show we do is always my favorite, and then the next one replaces it. But this, I will remember this because I just had a lot of firsts, I guess you could say.
We need an Atlas cap kind of convention. We totally need that. I'm thinking, imagine the faces of the cops on duty for detail. That's going to be hilarious.
But what happens at a paranormal conference when everyone's walking around and doing what you do, and I'm on a stage in assless chaps?
I've never even been to one, so I don't know because I don't want to have a 6-foot banner with my face on it. That's why.
Right. But you guys are talking about putting me up in assless chaps.
Dude,
So that's not
do you know the money we could make with that? For calendars and like helping those that can't afford their own assless chaps, we'd be solving a problem that's happening around the world.
I forgot about that.
That's right.
You know, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. There's a lot of people.
Not like we're asking you to wear the nipple clamps.
That's
true.
true.
Not yet.
We'll ask you, but we won't. That might
Not
be
yet.
All right.
Not yet.
I have to be reminded for the cause. I just need a gentle reminder. Just think of all those that don't have assless
think
chaps.
of those all that can't even afford their own assless chaps.
No, it's
teardrop coming from their eyes, trickling down.
It is sad. You know, and if that's all we can do is bring awareness, you know, through the channels of ITC and the paranormal, if we can bring awareness to that, then we've done our job.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Yeah, Nora says totally satisfied. I agree, Nora. I agree. I am too.
Absolutely.
Christina says Josh can make it rain.
Josh is paying for the bar tab.
Woo-hoo! Oh, yeah. I guess with all those dollar bills, right? I'm going to roll with it. I mean, I guess if we're going to have a party, we're going to have a party.
If you're going to do it 100%.
Oh, no.
If you're going to be a screw up, be right. The best screw up there is. And if you're going to be a success, go all the way.
Right. No, if I'm sending my reputation downhill in under 5 seconds, I'm going 150%.
Snowball it. Just snowball it. If you're going to do it, snowball it.
Exactly. You know, Kanga, it does feel calmer here. I can't explain why, but it seemed like for a period of time, it was just felt busy in here, and now it feels normal.
Feels back down, neutralized.
Right. Yeah. I'm not hearing any of the knocks. I'm not feeling on edge. My hair's not standing up on my neck. The light apparently hasn't come back on. So
yeah, part of the problem is because I'm a woman. He just doesn't want to hear it from a woman. Well, he's going to hear it because I'm from Massachusetts. We don't play by those rules.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You will hear me or you will hear me.
Right. One way or another.
For $6 a day, every child can have assless chaps. Oh my god! I can't.
Oh my god!
See, even if I do have my
box to collect money. Oh god! Oh, it hurts to breathe.
I'm not gonna laugh. That was funny, but I'm not gonna laugh.
Here we go. It's starting.
Yes, Carl. I am now, again, the only ghost in the room. I'm surprised he could even be in the same room with me. He's like, oh my gosh, that dude glows in the dark. Like, whoa. I can't believe he's getting this close to me.
I just love when a doctor says, you know, like if you're going to go outside in the sun, you should probably think of sunscreen. I'm like, I wear it at night for the full moon. What are you kidding me?
Right, right.
Where does it say I'm looking to be tanned and varnished? If I wanted to look like a turkey.
Oh my gosh. You and me both need that sunscreen at night. Oh my gosh.
I don't suggest a 2-piece. I'm like,
or moon screen.
Surgery and you're talking about a 2-piece? Dude, you'll be lucky if I crack a window and let the sunlight in. I'm good.
They'll be talking about cracks.
The only thing Rob says in 5 minutes.
Hey, I'm just listening and watching the chats. I'm just monitoring.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe he thought you were just another
ghost.
Yeah,
I think he thought I was dead. He's like, hey, dude, how'd you get here?
Dude,
I'm like, I'm alive. He's like, you're not alive. Look at you. I'm like, I'm alive. He's like, you don't have any blood flow. I'm like, no, I have blood flow. He's like, no, you don't. I'm like, yeah, I do.
The Lizzie Borden house, when that woman's like, you see those people? I'm like, yeah. She goes, are they dead? I'm like, yeah, but the night's early. And her reaction, like, ask a dumb question, get a dumb answer.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
And you're a winner again.
Right. Oh, this is great. Lisa, you gave me great news about tonight. I'm so excited.
I'm so glad I could help you. I didn't know that was on the agenda tonight because I never know what Spirit's going to give me, but yeah.
I had no idea. And in fact, I was...
Get the garlic. Josh says he's a vampire. Then I'm a vampirist. Hold on. I'm a vampirist.
I'd make a terrible vampire.
Yeah, I can't stand the sight of blood. I barf, so. Good things to have around.
Right.
Yeah, listen, I tell everybody to keep something salty in their car, and it works with, like, say, like a mother-in-law, somebody that's just a negative person. You just want to eat that, you just neutralize it so they're not ruining your day.
You just turn and throw salt at your mother-in-law, just a handful of salt right in her face.
Listen, I've seen my uncles do quite nasty things at weddings because they thought one was getting a roll over the other, and I'm like, you can have a whole basket of rolls. You kind of look like my niece. I am your niece. Oh, we didn't recognize you because I don't have jeans and a sweatshirt on. I do own girly clothes.
Right.
It's a wedding.
I wear more than one thing.
I had to dust them off, but there's a wedding.
Oh my gosh.
And they're cops, which was the worst thing. And my mother's like, you need to go over there and settle them down. Why me? Because they like you. Well, yeah, because I'm not the usual one that goes butting into conversations.
Right.
It's not the point. It took the last
Different
roll.
perspective.
Dudes, we have 3 baskets of rolls here that none of us are eating because of carbs. You can have as many as you like.
All right, guys, I think we're going to call it. It's 10:30.
Yeah, gonna go eat some more potato chips.
Yeah.
Have an excuse to eat snacks late at night. Thank you, Lisa.
That's right.
Listen, emergency. Haven't you ever had a craving for fries at 4:44 in the morning and go, yeah, I got some air fryer. Hello.
Oh, the air fryer. Let's not talk about air fryers
you
right
get
now.
3 fries and you're like, okay, I'm done.
It was worth the experience.
Yeah, 40 minutes, but I got it. My 3 fries. Thanks for having me on, guys, and thanks for helping me.
Thanks
for Friday.
Thanks for coming on. I'm looking so forward to Friday. Friday's going to be so much fun.
Nervous.
No,
So
don't worry
if
about
anybody
that.
feels like they get a message like, oh, Lisa's going to need like a change of clothes, let me know, because I'd rather know now.
No.
Change of clothes.
My reaction isn't to scream. My reaction is to go, which totally, like, I'm sure Spirit's like, is that the best you got? Yeah, that's all I can come up with now. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone in the chat,
Lisa,
thank you for participating
on.
and helping me and helping the group. Everyone, thank you so much.
Awesome. Have a good night, guys.
All right, you too.
Be well, everyone.
See you guys.